What is going on, Tuesday Painter people? Time to crack a cold one for the boys and girls. Woo! How we doing, y'all?
Pretty good.
Glad to hear it, Evan. I don't know if I'm seeing anything in the chat. Wait, maybe I am.
Is your chat misaligned?
Oh, my chat is in, according to my chat window, it's in followers only mode. Is that normal? Xander Zone!
I don't think it's in followers only mode, but if it is, I can switch that.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind if it's actually in that mode at all. Thank you for the sub, though, Xander. I appreciate it. Gonna have a chill stream today where I paint. I'm gonna prep 3 Greyjoy characters to paint eventually, and then I'll start painting one this stream. And then I want to talk to you guys about a bunch of stuff. Crazy Vazy, thank you for the subscription. Yeah, I think my chat is not updating, so I'm not,
Sweet.
I can see it, but I don't know if anything's happening. We got Eric Ironmaker on the table for today. We have Makoro as well, and also Belan Greyjoy. Oh, now I see some chat. I literally am on my palette right now. Relax. Yeah, there we go. OSW Zenkiki painting some Legion. I saw that Legion got the big Giga Stormtroopers. What are they called? Clone Commandos, I believe. They look pretty cool. They kind of look like Space Marines a little bit, but I guess
Dark Troopers?
No, that's Stormtroopers got introduced into Shatterpoint. Legion got Clone Command.
Oh, okay, got it. Also, Pansy Bear subscribed, and Lord Erican subscribed before we went live.
I missed that. Rolls Royce also subscribed. Thank you guys. Yes, I want to talk about some stuff. Me and Evan and a few other of us recently were involved in the U.S. Nationals for Song of Ice and Fire this past weekend at CMON Expo. I believe that's what they called it. And also, I've been doing some fun research about 3D printing recently, and I want to talk about that as well. And also, we have some fucking epic mail time to do right now. Rufus Kid, thank you for the sub. MSP, are you winning? MSP is always winning. Oh, wait, no. Fucking Mickey took gold, the British man.
Spoilers.
At U.S. Nationals, but second place was local Minnesotan player. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I got this giant box right here that you can't see. This is the box. It's from CMON, or as Pete Shirley calls it, come on. El Shalafe, thank you for the sub. Keep on going, Miniac, I will. That's why I was in Atlas getting help. Yeah, the resin supporting channel in Atlas is just like the greatest place in the world. I can just put any question in there and I get a pretty reasonable answer. At least I think I do. All right, so giant box from CMON. Let's see what's inside of it. I think there might be some assembly required, although I don't actually know.
It's in a big enough box that I'm thinking the answer to that question is probably like it's 2 pieces or something like that.
Okay.
I think it has a swappable head.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Gilded Lion Minis giving us a spoiler here. Is that the massive Galactus mini? I believe it is. Oh no, some assembly is certainly required. Okay, so yes, this is the Galactus mini. If you're not familiar, I believe this model is used to play a game on top of it. No, that's like the Cthulhu mini.
Yeah, I think so. This is for Marvel Zombies. It's like a whole ass extra expansion to the game that like changes things.
Yes. This is the head.
A head.
This is a head. Yes, there are multiple. Okay, here's one head. Here is an arm. Oh my god, I love it. There is another head. Oh, right, because all the characters come as the zombie version and the not zombie version? Is that what it is?
Less zombie and more zombie or
yes,
something?
less and more, yes. Here is another arm. Fucking, yeah, exactly. Baby hand. Like, literally exactly a baby hand, yeah. I mean, this is a little bit bigger than a freshly born baby. Here is the non-zombie head. We'll get a little side by side. Yes, exactly. Cornflake Just is literally a baby. So you can see how the zombie one is a bit more like the wingdingers are broken. And yeah, more of a skull on the left-hand side. So you got 2 head options.
Enoch Root resubscribed 26 months and going strong.
Thank you, Doc Root. Enoch Root.
Yeah.
Send it to me so I can do a side-by-side with my newborn. The Wingdingers, they're back. Galactus is my phone background, about to devour the Enterprise. Okay, so you're a huge
fucking nerd.
Galactus fan. All right, this giant plastic cover. Now we're getting crazy.
Huff and Stuff just subscribed 1 year.
Huff
Miniac,
and Stuff.
John Pog.
Okay. Look.
It just falls into the category of like, I can't believe they did it. It's so ridiculous. I love it.
Behold this majesty. Oh my God. It's incredible. Okay, hold on. I gotta get all the plastic off here. Oh. So yeah, not much assembly is required. But
it's just guys.
All right, we gotta throw a head on it, right? I assume the head is supposed to be removable in case you want to play like the zombie version or the normal version. That goes in there pretty nicely. Oh man. Okay, if anything, this is gonna be some sick set dressing in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I joked when I found out that I was bringing this over for him. I was like, it's just paint streams for the next year.
Don't say that, Evan. Okay. That arm is not fully put in, but I mean, you can see. Huff and Stuff got you, Mr. Funkadizzle, thank you as well. Someone take away Scott's credit cards. This was sent to me for free.
Yeah.
Just to be totally clear, I did not pay for this.
I think a big part of that was we've got a few of these left, and it'll cost us a ton to get them out of here. So let's give them away to local people that we know.
Okay. You like Galactus, Alex? Yeah, dude. It's fucking huge.
Alex's mind is blown. It's a miniature.
I love that it's zombie Galactus.
Yeah, there's zombie and regular.
There's both, yeah. This is incredible.
That's pretty sweet.
Someone said play MCP on it. You want to hold it?
Is it heavy?
It's kind of heavy. I mean, I guess it's as heavy as you expect it to be, I think.
Yeah, it's a big
If the
hollow
base
piece of
wasn't
plastic.
hollow, this would be a weapon to use in a
I mean, it kind of already is.
They kind of did.
Yeah.
You gonna paint
No. Absolutely not.
Speed paint.
Speed paint.
You just use rattle cans for the whole thing.
Rufus says, giveaway? Rufus, I think you already won a giveaway, so you wouldn't even qualify for this.
I think, normally we don't restrict the giveaways to any location. This would be like local winner only.
Yeah, maybe.
Shipping that box.
Yeah, that would cost a pretty penny, especially if it was going internationally. This is fucking awesome.
Very cool.
The base is huge. I actually don't know where it would fit just because of the base size, but we're gonna find a place for it because it's so cool. It also came with a box.
I think it comes with because it's an expansion for the game.
Ah.
So if you have Marvel Zombies and you buy the Galactus thing, you get the Galactus scenario expansion or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm. I'm grandfathered in per the current rules.
That actually might be true.
I think it is. I don't think we started or tracking until after.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you to Simon for sending this. This was super cool. Also, thank you to Simon for allowing me to be a part of U.S. Nationals without paying. I didn't have to pay to be there. So that was very nice of them. I just kind of showed up and flashed my content creator card. And they were like, sure, you can play. And I was like, wow, awesome.
You are the very famous YouTuber Miniac?
Yes.
It's nice to be a big fish in a small pond sometimes.
Sometimes it is, yeah. What up, Carl West Coast Bannerman? You could add some LEDs and replace the lamp behind you. I could have a glowing head. So yeah, that was awesome. That's our mail time. I don't think I have any other mail. But yeah, we were at the CMON Expo playing at the U.S. Nationals. I played, there were 6 games to play, 4 the first day and 2 the second day, I believe, for most people. I only had time to play in the first 3 games on day 1. And then I had to forfeit the rest of them, but that was fine. I really enjoyed it. The last time I played in a tournament for Song of Ice and Fire was for the U.S. Regionals or the U.S. Qualifiers. And I lost all 3 games in that tournament, and I was really try-harding in that tournament. And I remember being
It was our local qualifier, not the super regional. Yeah,
local qualifier. I remember being so frustrated when I left that tournament because I didn't win a single game, and I was like trying to like do some like stupid Euron Greyjoy Silence Men Reapers thing, and it wasn't working. I was really upset. But when I played in this tournament, I don't know. I didn't like intentionally go in with a different attitude or anything, but for some reason it was just so much more fun. I think I put less pressure on myself because I haven't played many Season 3 games. And it was chill. It was chill. Lost my first game, won a second one. First game was against Stark player. I can't remember all the things that Stark could do, but I started to remember them as I was playing. Like Sansa is able to get cards out of the graveyard, like assault orders, and Arya is amazing for mobility. So I was learning all these things. I played against a Free Folk player, the newly nerfed Free Folk player or Free Folk house. Game 2, won that one pretty decisively. And then game 3, I was against good old Dan Mawson with his Lannies and his Gold Company swordsman and Kevin and it's not Tyrion. You know it's Tyrion. And I lost to that list. But it was close. It was really close. It was a fun game. And it was all fun. All of it was fun. Everyone there was so much fun. Carl West Coast Bannerman had a Bolton army there. That
free
was like,
hugs.
It was all like, yeah, it was all pink and rainbows and had signs that said free hugs. Like they were on like cloud bases, so that was hilarious. And everyone there was just like, as far as I could tell, was having a great time. Brett Lampler, the TO, is an awesome player as well, but also he was just great. He was so much fun to be with. It was cool to meet Mickey or Maserath from A Song of Ice and Fire Stats finally. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, Mickey stayed with me for a little over half the time he was here.
Nice.
Put him in a bed with America-themed sheets, just to make sure he knew where he was and that he was an American now. Because it's important to establish that, because then when he goes on to win, we can say, well, you're an honorary American, so an American still holds the title. As opposed to some UK nerd coming over and stealing it away.
Yes.
Jim Ludwig's already talking about organizing a raid on Europe to try and get their title back.
Okay. So it was 59, like Carl says, 59 players. I think they had tickets for all 120 seats, but I believe a lot of people that pre-qualified from various events just didn't end up showing, which makes sense because of travel reasons, but I think maybe the organizer shouldn't have assumed that they were going to show up without maybe asking them or something like that. But it was still big.
It was still the biggest U.S. event by a substantial amount.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I honestly want to play more A Song of Ice and Fire now. Like when I went home from that tournament, I wrote like 3 more lists that were kind of just weird, but also one that was based on what I saw other Greyjoy players who weren't trash, what they were running. A lot of them were running Makoro, which I've kind of slept on a lot because I play against Curtis a lot, and I don't feel like Makoro is super necessary against Drogo. There could be. Definitely half my games, there's a moment when Makoro would be amazing against Drogo, when he wants to overrun, when he wants to use assault orders, when he wants to use all this bullshit. But I feel like Makoro is probably way more useful against like Lannisters or something like that. So I'm gonna paint him up. Him and Balon and Eric today.
I ended up taking 8th overall.
Nice.
I think I could have done better if things broke slightly differently, but that's all right. I'm pretty happy. I had a great time. Maybe the best game of Song I've ever played was my last one. The 6th round was just a banger all time.
Why was it a banger? What happened?
It just was the perfect kind of game you hope for. Tight the whole way through. No nonsense. Both people are getting to do all the things that they want to do. Right? It wasn't like, oh man, I just cannot find the cards that I need or any of that kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
My game against Carl at the end of day 1 was also really good, but I had to leave like 10 minutes early. Because day 1 stretched long and we had the player dinner, and I had to go over there and, pay and get them to set up and so on.
I hear you have many leftover chicken wings.
Bro. My dinner last night, I'm tapped out. I've spent all this money on all these different things we've done, and I have enough chicken wings that it's like every meal for the next week. It's just chicken. I ate like 10 chicken wings last night. I think I get to do that another 6 or 7 times. Luckily, they are very good chicken wings. We did the player dinner at the Urban Growler, which isn't too far from here.
Is that your brother's place or something?
No. My brother is a partner at Prize in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Urban Growler is just a good local brewery. They are actually a client of another insurance agent at my agency, but I've known them since they opened, and their food is pretty good. I felt really bad because we were showing up, like all the song players started showing up at 8:15, and the kitchen closes at 9.
Ouch.
So whoever's working in the kitchen, I'm very sorry. I did notice that like the last few orders that came out of the kitchen were very rushed. You know, like the catered food was great. The first 50 sandwiches that came out or whatever were great, and then the last 10 were like, that bread's a little burned, but it is like 9, and they just want to go.
Yeah, I can see that happening. What's up, big people? Do you participate in smaller painting competitions or only the bigger ones? I do just the big ones. But if I was like in the right place at the right time, I would put some stuff in a smaller one. But yeah, I'll only do the big ones normally. Name is Dot. Hey, I have a mini I'm working on really hard. My biggest project time sink so far. I have some metallic details I'd like to make more interesting, but nothing's coming up. Can I share for some ideas? We don't do like feedback like live in a stream normally, unless we have like a specific feedback day. But if you want small metallic details to pop, you could always consider doing non-metallic metal. You could always consider doing a colored metal color, like a red NMM, or just a red metallic color, or a blue metallic color. Could be really interesting.
I find the biggest thing that makes metallics pop for regular painting is making sure to panel line or otherwise separate out the edges of those metal details a lot of the time.
Definitely agree with that. I find that on these more rubbery plastic miniatures, obviously when you try to scrape, sometimes the little bits get caught on there. I find that the sponge sanding twigs actually work quite well on surfaces that are accessible. Because it's a pre-assembled model, sometimes you can't get it into all the nooks and crannies. But when you do have some fuzz left over, brushing the model with a very accurate application of acetone can deal with those little fuzzes, which really cling to the model on this type of plastic. I think maybe it's called thermoplastic. I've heard board game plastics described as that before. But yeah. That is also true, Mike Cheney. Thank you for shilling for me. If you join my Discord, which is available through being a Twitch subscriber or through Patreon, there's a CNC channel, and I will reply to any ping in that channel, like normally within 24 hours, unless it's like a weekend or if I'm on vacation. Thank you, though. Thank you, though, for people who are shilling for me. All right, I need to deal with this little line right here, and that's about it. Okay, the last thing I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that I'm excited to talk about right now, that isn't game design, because I could talk about game design forever. Oh, wait, Rufus, you mentioned Proto-Spiel, didn't you? I missed that. Can you say that message again, please? I'm curious about what you mentioned. PVC for board game miniatures. You know, I feel like the term PVC could apply to a ton of different types of plastics. The world of materials and plastics is very, very complicated. And so even just the word plastic or polymer or PVC or anything can apply to so many different things. And I know that they're quite generic terms, but yeah, I've realized that I know very little about plastic. But I obviously want to do 3D printing in this office space. And the room I want to do it in fact, all the rooms I have in my office have no windows, and there isn't really any like available exit ducting. I can't like just hook into like the AC and like poison everyone in the building.
I mean, you could.
I could. I'd get probably like sued or something like that. It can only refer to polyvinyl chloride. You are right.
But there's a million different like qualities and like mixes and so on.
Kind of like varieties of it too, or whatever. So I kind of feel like I'm shit out of luck here. I don't know how to safely 3D print in an enclosed box, essentially, while also not gassing myself or my wife, which is she's also in that same room where the printers are doing shipping and stuff. And so I did some digging. I was looking around at options, and I couldn't find anything easily. And so I started looking like other places that would have to deal with VOCs, which are very, very small particulates that happen when you cure UV resin. Like the exposure causes the creation of these airborne chemicals that, when breathed in, cause a lot of problems. And so I was trying to figure out, how do I deal with VOCs, which are a very small particulate, whereas like things like dust and smoke and pollen are much larger. Smoke is pretty small, but it's even larger than VOCs. And I looked into job sites, because I imagine that OSHA has some kind of like requirement for VOC regulation. And I discovered all kinds of filtration, UV assisted, HEPA filters, which are designed for 0.3 micron particulates, which is like pollen and larger. And then I started to find charcoal and activated charcoal. And activated charcoal is a material that, relative to its weight, has an insanely large surface area and is able to capture like the tiniest of particulates in it. And then I figured out even more that there are types of like activated filters. There's wood activated, there's charcoal activated, there's coconut fiber activated ones. And apparently coconut fiber ones are the best. I didn't know that. And then furthermore, I found out that you don't need to buy sheets of these filters. You can buy like what looks like tiny little pebbles that you put in a box that then the air would filter through, I think.
Yeah, that's one type. There's also ones that are like a honeycomb type grid that it flows through.
Honeycomb grid, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that this is a solution to anyone's problems, but at the moment, I feel pretty confident that I could hook up some kind of exhaust to my printing hood, which I found through another YouTube video. It's like a 3D printed part that you like actually drill a hole in your enclosure and put a hose on it and shit and a fan. If I were to suck the air out with an exhaust fan of my printer and blow it right into a coconut activated charcoal filter thing, I think that would solve the vast majority of VOCs that happen when 3D printing. And I would feel safe doing that in an enclosed room. But that's like an hour of research. So please tell me in the chat how wrong I am about that, or tell me why I'm wrong as well, please.
As far as I know, you're entirely correct. It's just you have to have enough filtration membrane to handle the output of the VOCs from your particular resin and all that stuff.
Okay.
So like the Elegoo printers, many of them come with a small activated carbon filter that goes inside the hood to tamp down on VOCs, but it doesn't solve the problem entirely.
Yeah, the little USB powered one.
Yeah, exactly. And all that thing is like a little pull fan, and it's one of those honeycomb shaped ones that's just constantly recirculating in there and taking care of a lot of it. And it works well, but it's not a big enough filter to be what I would call a true solution.
Okay. So you just need more of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard that simply exhausting the air cools down the chamber. Recommendation is a heat exchanger is needed to keep the temp inside of the... Yeah. That's a different problem, I think. Maybe it's not. But
it all leads back to we want our prints to look good, and you have to make sure that you're compensating for sucking in a bunch of cold air.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. So because you would just exhaust all the heat out as well.
Yeah. Flapjack Nickel Sack says, I've got my printer in a grow tent that's got an exhaust fan with charcoal filters on both ends. I have seen that exact setup done many times, where people will buy like a small sort of in-apartment grow tent for hobby plants, and those, because of the nature of growing those stinky plants, you need filtration, so they're already kind of set up for this. Stinky plants. I don't know what I could be referring to, Scott.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
It is legal here, though.
It is true. Yes, hobby plants.
Yeah, they're not true USB powered. You're right, Rufus. It's a USB plug, but it's not USB standard. You wanted to see him say, I did the Chicago Protospiel this weekend. It was a lot of fun. I highly recommend you do the Madison one. People had good things to say about it.
Okay.
That was the one that you wanted him to repeat.
Thank you. Yes, I
Okay,
do want to hear about Protospiel. I'm reading another book right now called Board Game Design Advice by Gabe Barrett.
It's wild how much reading you're doing.
I know. I've never read as many books in my life. It was recommended by Jamie Stegmaier, and basically what it is it's the same 10 or whatever questions asked to fairly prolific game designers, like the designers of like Pandemic Legacy, and similar, asking them interesting questions like, what would you do after a discouraging playtest session? And a variety of questions that are in that vein. And I think the book isn't meant to be read front to back. It's more like I have a question, let's see what an expert says about my question in my scenario, and I'm gonna reference it. But I'm reading it front to back just because I'm curious. There's a lot of good advice. I'm really appreciating it. Yes, the vat heater. I'm curious how effective my little belt warmer is on my vat. I want to like actually measure the ambient temperature of the resin, turn it on, and then measure the resin at like 10-minute intervals to see how long it takes the resin in the center of the vat to actually get up to some reasonable temperature. I know the resin kind of gets mixed a little bit as the build plate goes in and out, but I'm just curious, like, is my method actually really doing anything? I don't know.
I missed all that.
I have a belt warmer on my vat to warm.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, and I'm dubious as to whether or not that's actually effective. I don't know if it's actually doing anything.
I think it's one of those things that can help a little bit, but it's affected so much by like the actual material that your stuff is made out of. You know, like some vats have plastic edges and some of them are metal.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
That's true. Luckily for me, well, at least in the frozen printer, it was metal, so it was very conductive. I don't know if that's true of the Saturn Ultra 12K. I didn't actually look into that, but I think it
most
is.
of the Elegoo's have metal basins, but not
Yeah.
all printers do. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you just use a wash and cure station for cleaning? They sent me one. I've never used it. I tend to use an ultrasonic cleaner with a lid on it, obviously, because it does two things for me. It not only cleans the print fairly nicely, but also it warms the model up, making the support removal very easy. They did send me one to test out, but I do like the convenience of being able to use the cleaner for those two functions.
I have an Elegoo wash and cure set. That's all I use. It's fine. I like it. It was a good deal. Works.
But the reality is you can use the printer for both feed and exhaust because all you're doing is capturing the VOCs. You don't need to vent the cleaner.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you can recirculate it. Right.
Does it have like a loop?
Yeah, like the same idea as the Elegoo ones that are in the printer, where it's just recirculating in there to remove some of them.
Yeah.
You just put a bigger batter filter on your, connected either to the hood of the printer or, like if you put it in a tent or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just, air goes out, goes through your good charcoal filter setup, goes right back in.
Okay.
It doesn't need to exhaust into the room necessarily. And then you've got a closed system and you can maintain temperature better. And then you're like a professional. And then when your prints still fail, you can just leave negative reviews on my mini factory. It said pre-supported, but these pre-supports suck. And then
Meanwhile, I'm using support tips that are
you
like
something like, "What's your lift speed?" And you'll say like 800,000.
Yeah. Or my support tips are like 0.1 millimeter.
Yeah, exactly. I changed all the supports to smaller size for better detail, and it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It's your fault.
Yeah. 3D printing, man. The Emperor's new clothes as paint job. What? What? Are you referring to the green? I missed last painting stream. I was in New York City, hanging out, having some fun there.
New York City.
New York. It was a good time. I visited some some Blu-ray shops, picked up some movies that I would never be able to find like as a torrent or anywhere, and so that was fucking awesome. Got some movies that I've wanted to have on Blu-ray for a while, like the first Blade movie I found, a 4K rip of that. That was awesome. I found the first 4 Alien movies. I found what's the other one? Oh, the fifth Element. I watched Blade and the Fifth Element recently. Those movies are great. Where did I rank in A Song of Ice and Fire? I'm not sure. I didn't play like the last 3 games, so I think those all counted as losses. So.
Yeah, they do. But let me pull it up so we can be sure.
Yeah. So I think technically I went 1-6 or 1-5 technically. Multipass. In the same vein as film grain filters on video, do you think there's a place for worse quality models, 80s metal model style proportions? What a very interesting comparison. Yes, the answer to the question is yes. I love vintage models. They have a certain design aesthetic that is very cool to me. Some of them are also quite grungy and terrible, but there's like a certain level of it that's just right for me.
Scott got 57th in the tournament.
Fuck. Did you buy off the street? The Blu-rays? No. I found those in the store. Have I seen Fire and Ice? Yes, I have. That one is awesome. Fuck the Fifth Element. That director is a literal pedo. God damn it, Azathoth.
Rufus out of 59.
The movie is nice. The movie has a very heartwarming message. Hey, not 59. That's true.
It's true.
That's true. When we get in the game design channel on Discord, I want to talk about some concepts I've been working on. And that sounds like a fun idea. I would do that, sure. I don't know if there's many visible mold lines on Balon here to really remove, so I'll just not do that. All right, let's get some handles on these other 2 dudes, get a little prime job, and then we'll get started on Eric. I think I'm going to skip priming because YOLO.
Whoa.
I guess that's what you get when you skip 3 games? Yeah. I wanted to play more, and I want to play more still. Is there another tournament coming up, Evan?
No. Most of the community is very, very tired right now.
Oh.
We are looking forward to playing Evian and stuff like that on Wednesdays for a while. But if you show up, people will play Song against you.
There is an off week for volleyball in October, and I plan to show up on that Wednesday.
Sweet.
Okay. We're going to do the classic Scale 75 Deep Blue.
Deep.
The deepest. I know you said you were interested in Shatterpoint. Have you had a chance to paint any of those minis yet? What was your opinion on them if you had a chance to do so? I have. I got a lot of minis that I haven't taken pictures of and posted on social media yet. I don't know why I haven't done that.
It's because they're secret.
There's a secret. Here's my completed Sith Inquisitor, Grand Inquisitor. I tried to do the base with the marble technique. It fucked up because apparently not all of that material is created equally, so I painted it black. But I painted this one in regards to what I think of the models. They're pretty good. Not covered in detail. Some of the detail could be a little bit more deeply defined, I think. But otherwise, they're pretty good. Pretty good. What up, Rugged Cartoons 631? Priming is a scam. I'm a slacker? Why am I a slacker?
I don't know, because you're not priming your minis probably.
Oh, is that why? It's kind of true.
You have to do all the steps.
Okay, I need to put an apron on. This is a new t-shirt. If I mess it up, Ember will kill me.
Chatty's going to mess it up anyway. Just watch.
Oh,
it's gonna be great.
I hope not. I got resin on my new shirt. Yeah, dude, I got resin on my 3 Wolf Moon t-shirt, dude. And it was so stupid, too. I was carrying a printer upstairs. And as I was carrying it upstairs, I was leaning the printer, like, onto me to, like, distribute the weight. And, of course, if you fucking lean the thing... Oh, okay, here's another dumb thing. I was transporting it with resin in the vat.
Yeah, I was going to say, we started off skipping over the part that definitely was the problem.
That was the problem.
Do not transport resin printers with the vat in place with resin in it.
Yeah, so it poured out, obviously, and it poured out onto my fucking shirt. And I was like, no, another Three Wolf Moon shirt.
And all over your resin printer, too.
Yep. That was very dumb. Don't do that. Don't do this at home. Do it at school.
Yeah.
Someone get the UV and cure it. Yeah, basically what I did was I hung it up outside in the sun, the shirt. I like cleaned it out with like, what did I do? I used like a hose outside and like cleaned it over a bucket to rinse it into like not the ground.
I mean, isopropyl, right?
Yeah. I just don't have like a lot of that attached to a hose. I might have used maybe some of that. I can't remember what I did. But then when I had rinsed it in some way, I let it out to dry in the sun so it would cure for like a day. Okay. What are we doing here? We need some more paint. So excited for October 7th. What is October 7th?
I mean, October 7th is a date in October.
True.
We got there.
OSW is in Kiki. I would love to see that video. And I did look for air filter like measuring devices, and they were all very expensive. So maybe there's something that's more specific that is a little bit cheaper, like you mentioned, like a VOC meter specifically, as opposed to like a smoke, pollen, temperature probe, and all that stuff. Yeah, if an activated charcoal filter has been proven to do literally nothing, then yeah, whatever things I was reading on paper are not true. But everything that I'm reading suggests that an activated charcoal filter should have a fine enough surface area to capture microbial things, like very small things. But I could be wrong. All right. Oh, the 24-hour paint thing at the Forge. Okay, nice.
There's one thing I blew Mickey's mind with. It's just how many hobby stores we have here.
Yeah, dude.
I couldn't count them all. We have like 30 plus game stores in the Twin Cities region of various types.
We're very spoiled.
Yeah, very. I brought him to the common ones. Obviously, we went to the source several times, and we went to Game Center because that's where the event was. We also went to Tower Games in Minneapolis, and I brought him to Scale Model Supply. I think that was probably the biggest mind blow for him, was just like, wow, it's like every model kit ever. You having airbrush trouble again?
Don't talk to me. Let's see. It appears as though I am. I don't know why I do this to myself. Why don't I just put it in the fucking HPCS and just do that? Okay, I'm just gonna do that. Well, yeah, fuck it. I think you guys were right though. I think I did buy the wrong needle nozzle. I think that's like the only explanation for why this is fucking up so royally. Anyways, but let's, before pouring paint into this HPCS, let's first just see if it fucking works. Because exactly, it's gunked up. It's not
Oh, great.
releasing. So yeah, needs some amount of cleaning before I prime with it. Which mostly when it does this for me, like any airbrush, it just means that the needle is a little stuck right there in the cup. It just needs to be kind of like loosened a little bit. That's some real Vince level airbrush maintenance you got there. Yeah, no kidding. I got a hold of an air quality detector for a little for a little while to test my setup, and it's shocking how many things release VOCs in your day-to-day. Our bathroom was the worst. Cleaning supplies, use your stove, your car, etc.
Oh yeah, the stove is a big one. It's wild just how much, like even if you have a vent hood, how much carbon monoxide is actually released into the home when you're using like an open gas burner.
Yeah, I think for that reason, like fuel-based, like what am I trying to say right now? Not electric stovetops, but the ones that burn.
Ranges? Gas burners?
Gas ranges. They're actually, are they becoming illegal in homes in America?
I think that it was proposed that like upcoming building homes for something, I can't remember if it was for subsidized housing or if it was general building codes or whatever.
Okay.
That in like the long term, they're going to move to sunset them and stuff. And, there was like culture war nonsense where people were like, you can pry my gas stove for my cold dead hands or whatever. And I'm like, okay.
I understand that it's better for some reasons, but
I mean, they're better than old coil-based electric stoves, but most people that are like electric stoves suck have never used an induction cooktop because induction cooktops are awesome. I wish I had induction. I have gas. I have a pretty nice gas range, much nicer than the rest of my kitchen. I wish I had induction. I'd be so much happier.
I don't have induction. I have electric, and while it's not ideal, you kind of just get used to it.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, truthfully, unless you're making really sensitive stuff, like where it's like, I need super precise control of on and off heat. Of course, then you just remove it from the burner or whatever. It's mostly nonsense. That's what I think. Yeah, the induction doesn't work with every type of pot and pan. It works with most of them. It works with enough of them. Yeah. Rocket Man Props is correct. Shit doesn't burn on the surface when you spill it. Yep. And it doesn't get hot if there's no, like you could have all the burners set to max. And if there's no metal cookware on the top of the thing, completely cool to the touch. I knew someone that had like a giant swirl-shaped scar across their entire ass because a burner was left going and they didn't know about it and they were set on it as a baby. Just for a moment. Yeah.
Oh my God. That'd be brutal. Man, I mixed a little cup of blue paint up, and I have no idea where it went.
You put it in your airbrush?
Yeah, I put a little bit of it in my airbrush,
okay.
But not all of it. I pinged you at the VOC video. Awesome. And the Amazon link for our ejector. Great. That would be cool. That'd be cool to like run an hour-long print, like in a Mare Labs town test, do the VOC test, clear out the room, do it again, and see, and just to see if like the idea actually works, like a larger, more capable activated charcoal filter. But thank you. My father did that to me when I was young. He was trying to teach me how to not touch the stove.
Didn't realize the burner was on.
Oh no.
My response is, well, did you learn not to touch the stove? It sounds like a very effective lesson. It sounds really, really awful.
I wrote a list to try out that has Eric Ironmaker as a commander, because apparently he's not a fucking meme anymore. And he seems pretty good.
He's okay.
There are a lot of things in the Greyjoy faction that hand out buffs. And so I tried to make a list that was all buff-centric, just to like turn one or two units into like absolute monstrous like combat units after everything kind of ramps up with both pillage and other cards from Eric Ironmaker and other things as well. I want to try it out. Can't wait. There's a gaming stream this Thursday. I don't know what we're playing yet, but I do want to play Song.
I also have Super Fantasy Brawl now, so that can be a returning option.
Super Fantasy Brawl. Yeah, I mean, I'd play it again. Yeah, that's. I mean, Captain McLean. I can see how that. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad thing, right? It doesn't seem like it's harmful to like want to put a bunch of filters in each room. Like, why not? Rocketman props. I think it makes sense that we're only now starting to care about stuff like air quality. It's only been in the last 50 years that we stopped smoking 24/7 as a society.
Yeah.
And stopped using lead in everything. We're at the point where we can start to care about more things than we've assumed was fine. Yeah. Play some Steel Rift. Who makes that game? I've heard that game a couple times now.
It is made by Death Ray Designs. Ash Barker.
Wait, so Ash Barker. Okay, nice. Or this is a game called Guild Ball.
Guild Ball.
Don't tempt me. But look at, I sprayed paint on this model and it pilled up on top of his abs. Interesting. I've never seen that happen before while doing what I'm doing now on this model. Our grandparents had asbestos poisoning. Our parents had lead poisoning. We have microplastics and PFS. Yeah, PFS.
Hey, asbestos is good for you. It builds character.
Yeah.
It also strengthens your lungs as they turn into rock.
What are you saying, Jay? Tuna really went downhill after they started pulling out the dolphin bits? Unreal.
You know, like cans of tuna meat. Now it's actually tuna. What the hell?
Was there actual dolphin bits in tuna before?
There was allegations of meat contamination. I mean, there's other stuff too. Like, I believe the USDA standard for the amount allowable of human flesh in processed food, like hot dogs, is 3%.
I'm a cannibal.
You lost a finger into a gigantic grinder of beef. You know what? It's fine.
It's not okay. That's not okay, man. Did I let the acetone dry? I didn't explicitly do that, but that small amount of acetone evaporates like pretty much instantly, as far as I'm aware. Okay. I need to find that cup.
Now's your chance, because he's going to wander around looking for a cup for like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, there's a dry cup. There was a dry cup.
Real quick.
What do you want?
Do you want to review the ad before I render?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I just do that now?
No. It's the last thing I need to do. I'm still putting the finishing touches on it.
Okay.
But before I left, I was going to render it.
Okay. Guys, it should not be hard for me to find a fucking cup of paint on my desk. What is going on right now? What on earth?
Professional paint liquor, the answer, as usual, is just don't think about it. Just don't think about it. Don't think about it.
A few streams ago, you saw my white zenithal through airbrush problem, basically turning up the PSI. Yeah.
Yep.
That little flow chart can deal with that kind of problem. All right, honestly, I don't know where that cup went. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna mix a new one.
It's got to be like right behind something.
I know, yeah. I'm trying to like peer and stuff. I can't see.
Did you put it in your shirt pocket?
Oh my god, that'd be so terrible if I did that and I got paint all over me. Oh god, I'm like hitting the camera so much.
There is an overhead camera, but this is the view, kitten.
You like it?
Wonderful.
Didn't do anything. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Fuck it, I don't care. I'm now wasting more time than if I would just to mix up a little small batch. Oh, I see it. It's on the ground. I've crushed it. But somehow I didn't get paint.
Someone called it. Someone said it's not on the desk.
I didn't get paint anywhere though, chat. Although I totally destroyed this thing.
Wow.
Actually, you know what? There's still usable paint in there. Look
Are
at
you
that.
sure that you didn't get paint on the wheel of your chair?
I'm rolling around, not seeing any tracks. So we're good. At least.
Sometimes you do get extraordinarily lucky.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I wasn't totally unscathed. There is some blue paint on my sandal. But otherwise.
Amber will destroy you for this.
No, there's cheap. It doesn't matter. But no, yeah, that was bizarre. Totally didn't get paint anywhere on the carpet.
All right, we've talked about what we did over the weekend. We had a great time doing the tournament stuff. We haven't really talked about your trip to New York.
That's pretty standard. Although I did see Dimitri Martin on the streets. And I tried to get a picture with him, but he was talking to someone for a super long time. Well, it wasn't a long time. It was like 2 minutes. But Amber was getting so, she was getting so embarrassed standing, off to the side, waiting for their conversation to be done to get a picture that we had to leave. So I didn't get a picture. But I just saw him randomly. That was cool. We saw Sweeney Todd. It was like Broadway week or something, so all the tickets were super cheap. So we went to Sweeney Todd, we went to Chicago. I ate lots of pizza.
You mean the show Chicago, not the town, before someone says it.
Yes, the show Chicago. I ate lots of pizza. I think I ate maybe 6 or 7 different pizzerias. Some new ones, some favorite ones. It was a good time. No TUP this week. Oh, sorry. It's going to be delayed because of just a real big mix-up with our schedules. We recorded it yesterday. Alex is editing it literally right now. Actually just came over to see something about it. Hopefully it'll come out tomorrow. We also recorded the next one when John came down yesterday. And so we'll be back on schedule with the next one.
A double TUP.
A double TUP. Better paint the whole sandal to match, yeah. I think John's in the chat right now, isn't he? He said something about Little Mermaid, yeah.
Yep. So overall, even though it was delayed starting, successful vacation in New York?
Yes. We stayed in the Upper West Side this time because my cousin lives in the Upper West Side, and she was out
Did he want to go bowling with you all the time?
A wedding. Wait, what? About bowling?
Did your cousin want to go bowling with you all the time?
I'm trying to figure out what the joke is, and I can't figure it out. But no, they didn't.
Nico, let's go bowling. Cousin. You didn't play Grand Theft Auto 4?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't, never had much, I didn't have any consoles really until I got the Nintendo Switch during COVID.
I played that on the PC.
I don't know, you know, I've never heard of someone playing Grand Theft Auto on a PC, but certainly you can.
Yeah, 4 and 5 were both massive smash super hits on PC. 4 came out much later for PC. I initially played it on whatever it came out on, Xbox 360 or something like that. And then I bought it on PC and got all the expansions on PC. Miniac doesn't drive a taxi and it shows. Yeah, all right.
Someone asked, when is the episode where John is raving about Nova? It's the next one. And then the one after that, we got ridiculous. The question was, why do gamers see rules as uneditable? Or the term I used was sacrosanct, which is so important that it cannot be modified. Normally in regards
Consult the holy text.
Yeah, exactly. It's biblical almost. And but it goes beyond that. It's like why I'd be less inclined to use proxies, to do any amount of like house ruling, do changing color schemes. I think a lot of those same questions stem from a similar place. That's not just about convenience. Convenience definitely plays a role, but I think there's more to it than that. And so we explored that question a little bit.
Oh yeah, I just remembered I forgot to send John his obligatory picture. Every time I go to the breakfast place next to that the cat cafe that he came to town and brought his daughter to,
which is now in Roseville.
There's two of them then, because the one is still there in New Hope. So
okay.
I went there with Mickey. That was his last big American meal. Was a gigantic, super American breakfast. And every time I go there, I'm like, John, you should have gone to this place. Look at this food you can get. So, congrats. There you go, John. I showed you the breakfast.
Not rules as written versus rules as intended, but like if everyone in your gaming group hates the priority roll in Age of Sigmar, just don't play with it. You know? Like that's
or hates the current General's Handbook, I think is actually even better example. You like the core game, you liked last season, you don't have to play this season.
Well, I actually think the double turn is a little bit better example of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
The what you're saying in my head is more acceptable. But the idea of changing a rule in the vanilla game is way less acceptable. And I don't know why I feel that way. And so we kind of just talked through it. Like even though I hate the double turn, I don't want to play without it. And we kind of like discussed why that is. But feel free to leave your reasons for why you do or don't care about house ruling or stuff like that, and why you care or don't care.
I think you have a point that when you start messing with the fundamental rules of the game, why am I bothering to patch this game when I could just play a game I actually like more?
Because you have some amount of investment in it, possibly.
Yeah, but then that comes back to miniature agnostic game or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it becomes harder to bring new players in if you start changing rules potential too. On the other hand, if you get rid of the rule that everyone hates, maybe it becomes easier to bring in people. Yeah, we play AOS here. No, you can't get double turned twice in a game.
I think that's a pretty good reason. I can't remember if we mentioned that in the podcast, but that's definitely a reason, yeah. You make it less accessible.
Around here, Stormcast Dragons cost 600 points instead of 90. I mean, that is the feels bad element of all this stuff. You start doing like localized reactions to a localized meta, where it's like the double turn feels too strong because the players don't know how to compensate for it or whatever. And then it's like, yeah, but now you're punishing the players that do know how to utilize it best and so on. I don't know. It's a tough question. Mosquito Boy, it's coming.
It's coming soon. Hopefully tomorrow, Mosquito Boy.
Yeah.
The next one will be on time.
Yeah.
Mosquito Boy.
A little bit of vacation disrupt because Scott was out of town for a week.
Yeah, and then we couldn't find a time where John and I both had time to do the episode. Which doesn't normally happen. Normally, we are able to work around vacations well. So this was a not normal.
That's very true, Jay. Sometimes you end up with scenarios where it's like our local song community is big enough that we have multiple players at pretty much every level. But there are smaller communities where it's just like there's that one guy that just always wins. And it's not that he's super good. It's just that he's better than the other 4 players. But then if people don't acknowledge that they're better, right, then it becomes, oh, the faction is broken. And so sometimes you have people where it's like, that guy plays the worst faction in the game, but crushes everyone. And people go online, they're like, what are you talking about? Neutrals are super busted or whatever. Oh, Vince roasting you, Scott.
It's a shame you all couldn't stay on schedule. I mean, I've gone 9 years without missing a week, but a year is hard. I get it. I can't compete against Vince, No one can expect to do that.
That's true. It's like comparing yourself against like the Vitruvian Man or whatever. It's just perfect. He's an Adonis. He's never made a mistake in his life. I mean, he works out more than both of us combined, Scott.
Exactly, you got it. That's why I call myself the so-so pro. You know, every once in a while, it falls apart. I think very early on in my YouTubing career, I wanted to be the kind of person that could deliver a studio-like experience, like meaning like schedule, quality, but also still be homegrown boy. And I am realizing 7 years later that I can't do that. It's never going to work out. And if I try to do that, I'm going to kill myself trying to do it. And so I should just ease up. So that's why I don't mind missing a week.
Can you tell that Scott has hit his 30s?
Yeah. I'm beginning to care less. Okay. I don't know what's happening with my HP BH, but not good things, let me tell you. All right, I'm not gonna fuck with this right now because I don't wanna do this all stream. I wanna paint a model. So, we're gonna put you aside for when the stream is done, and then I'm gonna work with my HPCS in the meantime. 30s? Yeah, I'm 31. How would you represent a so-so pro visually? Wow, what a question.
You just take a picture of Scott.
I don't know. I mean, I imagine like a hipster, but I don't know. I don't know if like the Venn
just
diagram.
Take a picture of Scott.
Yeah, I mean, you got the teeny weeny beanie and everything. I don't know if. I don't know if. I don't know what I'm saying right now. It's a wiki article now. A beanie and an airbrush is a good start. You should play the tamborini. Tamborini? I don't know if I know that.
Tambourine, but smaller.
Smaller? A small tambourine? Time to clean the desk, yeah. The desk does need to get cleaned.
It's more fun when it's cluttered.
Yeah.
Because then in a rage, you can sweep your arm across it and yell, no, and knock everything over.
Not again!
Resin everywhere again? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
A beanie and an airbrush sounds like my title of an autobiography. Yeah, definitely. Or if you're Canadian, you call it a toque. Con! What other movies have I watched recently, chat? Oh. Let's see. No, not the watch list, the reviews. I watched Sin City with my wife because she had never seen it before. That was fun. Yeah, and otherwise, yeah, Blade, Fifth Element, and then the D&D movie, which we already talked about last time. Okay, I'm gonna hit this with a cream zenithal highlight, and then we'll start painting it. And it's taking forever because I'm slow as fuck. I think I'm gonna use Light Earth from AK Interactive. I used this last time and it was pretty good. Used it on my Drowned Man.
Yeah, how'd you feel about your lists at the tournament?
I had two lists. I had a list with Vic in some Silenced Men, and Euron in some bows, and that list felt great. I was using Eric Ironmaker as an NCU, and so I felt like I could get pillage out incredibly fast, which felt great. In my other list, I had a unit of trappers with a drowned prophet in it, and the whole intent of that unit was to give him a single pillage, and then run him at a unit that I want to ignore forever. But the problem was I didn't have Eric Ironmaker in that list, and I didn't have, as an NCU, and I didn't have Euron in a unit of Bowman in the list either. And so I had no way to reliably generate pillage. And so what ended up happening was I never gave the trappers pillage. They ran into a unit, and they died in 2 activations because they could never generate a weaken token, and I got like shot up as well. I think I was playing against Dan, so he shot them with crossbows, and I lost like 6 dudes. They ran into combat and then died immediately. So if I want to do the trappers again, I think I need to have a way to give them 1 pillage at least very easily without getting the raiding call card. So I think that was good. The other that I have is good, and I would play it again. It's very mean and aggro, but now I'm moving away from Vic and trying out some other commanders. I don't know if that made sense to anyone, but I like the one you ran against Curtis. That one was good. I basically used that list as my other list, but a little bit better. Because I found some cool tricks that other players were doing online to get pillage out to people more easily. How'd the tourney go? Pretty good. I played in 3 games out of the 6 that I had time for, and I went 1 and 2. And I had a lot of fun. It was a good time. I want to play more. It made me hyped to play more. I'm going to thin this probably a little bit more than you would for like a base coat, just so that I have the ability to use a little bit lower PSI, allows me to get closer to the model, and allows me to be more specific with my application. And also it's going to apply a little bit more translucently if it's thinned out, like paint does on your palette. And if I do that, then I can like get a nice gradient between this blue and this cream color. Sure, Captain McLean, yeah. Wear a teeny weeny bean while you drink a dry martini, playing a tambourine. Okay, I get it. It's the rhymes.
Indeed.
All right. Okay, we are up first, Makoro.
While he's airbrushing Makoro, I want to remind everyone that it's September. Your cash subs are discounted for the month for you, but not for us. So if you want to get out ahead of things, it's a good time. Dang it, John. It's a good time now to subscribe.
Got a nice concentration of light. Let me actually focus this again.
Focus.
On top of the head and then toward the bottom, it gets more and more dark. I'm noticing that I'm getting a little bit of speckling with the airbrush, despite my pretty extremely high PSI right now. And I don't know why that's happening necessarily, but I could thin it out more if I wanted to. And why not? Let's do it. I'm going to backflow mix because I'm lazy. Blow out the paint that is in the front of the nozzle, just a little bit of it. And then let's try again. Ninja on Wen stream. Okay. All right, Evan. Scott got 57th out of 59th. I got 8th.
I'm painting a complete and accurate picture with those 2 statements.
All right, just for the sake of experiment, because I haven't used the HPCS in a while, I'm going to put some white ink in my airbrush, maybe with a little bit of yellow ink, and also some glaze medium, which I've learned recently when added to ink, which likes to reactivate with water sometimes. A little bit of extra medium can help it kind of be a little bit tougher. So I'm gonna try that just to see if I get less speckling with all the same settings. Pressure, airbrush, cleanliness of the airbrush, everything. Let's see. Yeah. 6-round Swiss for the tournament, and like who you played kind of depended on like how well you scored in your prior game. Because obviously there are players that will have the same win record, but if you perform better in one game, that gets you a higher seeding for the next round. Is that how it works, Evan? I'm assuming that's how it works?
Winners play winners, losers play losers.
But like, what if you have a player that's 1-0 and a player that's 1-0, and one player wiped out an enemy and the other player won by...
Right, yeah, it
right?
pairs you as closely as possible while avoiding repeats.
Okay.
Yeah, if one person has... If you have 4 winners, 2 of them have crushings, 1 of them has a standard, and 1 of them has a minor, it'll be crushings play each other.
Yeah.
And so on, yeah.
Paint water latte.
There's secondary points. There's units destroyed. There's a bunch of stuff that goes into it. But what it boils down to, because the tournament had a single undefeated player, is really what matters is winners play winners, losers play losers, because there's going to be one guy that has nothing but wins, or 2 people that have all wins and a tie.
Oh, Chad, I wanted to ask you about something. I love the idea of Death Knight as a class. And I was introduced to that as a class in World of Warcraft. But I don't really know if Death Knight exists elsewhere in fantasy worlds, like as a class of warrior, for instance. I'm sure it does. I haven't looked into it. But yesterday I was playing some dice throwing with some buds, and I asked them the question. I was like, what's a Death Knight to you? What does it look like? What's its characteristics? And we kind of talked about what we thought a Death Knight was, and I was like, what if it's like death-fueled automata? It's like a construct. Like I imagine like the sand dude from Hellboy, like the assassin guy. It's got like a timer on him. You gotta like twist it, and he's like a kind of like a robot, but like kind of has like a personality as well. And their idea was that like they usher people from life into death, like the Grim Reaper. And I was like, oh, what if the Grim Reaper had like an army? Like the Grim Reaper's army is made up of Death Knights. That'd be kind of cool. But what is a Death Knight? Like what do you guys see a Death Knight is? John says an anti-paladin. What does that mean though? Because I mean,
the OG Death Knight is Lord Soth.
What is that?
As Vince alludes to, it's a character from the Dragonlance setting from D&D, and he's a fucking Giga Chad, the Knight of the Black Rose. I've used him as my Phantom Bad Guy in a couple of D&D campaigns. He is the biggest badass ever, while also having that iconic villain trait of also kind of being a lovesick bitch. He's awesome. All Oathbreaker paladins are basically based on his character archetype.
An oath, okay. So the moment you break an oath as a paladin, you become a Death Knight.
Oathbreaker.
Is this true? You break some rule and now you're a Death Knight?
You don't necessarily become a Death Knight, but you do become an Oathbreaker. Oathbreaker is like the broader term where they were like, well, we need to include some other stuff. But yeah, don't break your oaths, boys and girls.
Undead warriors were the original Death Knight were undead warriors that protected wizards from other wizards. See, in my world, that's not a Death Knight. That is like, what's the reanimated previous great warrior as a skeleton? That's not a Death Knight though. In my head, I'm trying to think of the words here. Someone said Revenant. It's not Revenant. Blackguard. Like yes, Lich. I thought Lich was more of a.
Lich is more of a wizard that like does it to themselves.
Yeah.
I'll make myself invincible by turning myself into an undead abomination. I'm brilliant. Yeah, white. No, that's.
Oh, white. Yeah, that's the term I'm thinking of.
I feel like that's more mindless, but yeah.
Right. No, I agree. I think a white is more mindless than a Death Knight, which is why like a reanimated stooge to protect a necromancer is a white, but not a Death Knight. Death Knights are cursed to live forever, serving an even more evilier butt lord. Paladins use slap chop. Death Knights use suck cut. Nice. Yeah, I see Arthas as like the Giga Chad Death Knight. At its base level, Paladins are holy knights blessed with the powers of their deity. Death Knights are the same thing, except their deities are evil, and their powers / spells are equally evil. Okay, cool. That's fun. How is Death Run, by the way? Death Run is fantastic. It is. It achieves the impossible in games, which is basically appealing to people like me who love crunchy games, love strategy, love min-maxing, and also my wife, who like more simple games. So it spans the gamut in an amazing way. It's not like super deep, technically, but it's great for like, it's a great mid-ground complexity. So my idea for Death Knights was like, what if they were like, people say the term unlife a lot. The opposite of life. To me, the opposite of life isn't a reanimated corpse. That's like a version, that's like a mockery of life, but not like unlife. It's like, what does true unlife look like? And I was like thinking, what if a Death Knight was like neither alive nor dead, but something in between? And what if they weren't human? Like they were a different species of things. Like you can't just like become a Death Knight through a set of actions as a human. You are born to it in a way. So I tried to think about what does it mean for someone to be soulless? Like what does that look like? Yeah, I don't think Death Knight is like a super tried and true fantasy trope, and I think there's some like room to play with it. So I was trying to play with it a little bit. Like angels? Yeah, I guess kind of like angels, sure.
People want you to play Root, Scott.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried out Root yet, but All Gravy Gaming, what up Josh Davis? Co-op Dice Throne is awesome. Co-op is awesome. It takes a little bit longer sometimes, but they're all good.
Carl would approve of this.
I see a mummy being a Death Knight. Really? Okay. Crazy Vazy, thanks for the channel points. Appreciate it. All right, got a little bit of yellow ink in here with some white ink. I'm gonna add. I don't think I've added thinner yet. I think I've added a little bit of thinner. I'm gonna add some more thinner. It seems a little bit too thick still. If you actually call them Death Knights, people might feel like you're cribbing Warcraft a little too hard.
See, I feel like Death Knight is like the most genericized term for that kind of thing. It's like, it's almost as like generic as saying like bad guy.
You think so?
Yeah. Death Knight. Oh, that's like an evil knight. Got it. Cool. Exactly. Murder, death, kill guy.
I think
I'm fine with it. It's a cool name, but I think it's a very genericized thing, as opposed to being like, you know, a Knight of the Dark Oath or something. Yeah, John, bad guy. Corpse Crusader.
I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, like, there are certain people like me who had not been exposed to Death Knights in D&D at all and only played Warcraft, so I think I see what he's saying. See, Alex, Athos just saying that people who maybe are familiar with WoW Death Knights would be like, hey, you're stealing. But, you know, I don't know, it's kind of...
I mean, it's fine. They're going to think that you're stealing from something regardless.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is a little unavoidable, so I'm not too worried about that. I tried to do this airbrushing. It is way too translucent, so I added a bit more ink, and now we're going to retry. Definitely more opaque. pressure a little bit too high. We'll turn it down. All right, let's try again. Evernight.
I mean, I would, Rufus, if I could. That just sounds like smart market strategy.
Okay, definitely better, but not good enough yet. A night, and his enemy, the day knight. Nice. The reason why I'm thinking of like classes right now for my game is all the advice that I'm reading, especially in that book that I'm reading now, is like, as soon as possible, make a playable version of your game. Like just to test anything, the smallest thing. And I was like, okay, fine. And so I wanted to make a character or pick a character, because that's gonna help me then create a move set with that character. So it's like if I know I'm testing a Death Knight, I'm gonna make a bunch of abilities that feel Death Knight-ish. And for me, I get so inspired by just like story and lore and backstory. Like if I had to like sit down and come up with like 21 moves that a Death Knight would have in like a duel game, I'd have no fucking clue. But when I like know about the background of the character and like what it wants to do, what it's all that helps me so much. Like have an idea about, like, for instance, I had like an idea where like what if a Death Knight could like turn partially corporeal and then back into a more physical form. So like one of its more defensive moves could be like, become ephemeral. And that just comes from me thinking about what a Death Knight is. And so that helps me.
What is a Death Knight?
What is? A born again?
A birth knight.
A birth knight.
It's the opposite of Death Knight.
Midnight, nice. Could an approach be to just write rules for a game in an abstract way without the trappings of theme? You definitely can do that, but I think that theme is incredibly important in game design, and they go hand in hand. I think theme helps people learn your game faster. I think theme attracts a certain kind of target audience, and for me, theme helps me make rules. It helps me make choices.
Theme, I think, is important when you're talking about stuff like what characters can do and stuff, because if you just make generic rules, then the question is, but I want my character to have a gun. How do we do that? And you go, well, we don't have guns here. Oh, I didn't realize that. Theming and setting wasn't made clear to me. We were just playing with mechanics. Yeah,
I think maybe to do this person some credit, I think maybe they're saying for testing's sake, like you don't need theme. But I think you should have theme developed with the game the entire time.
Yeah.
But that's an opinion of mine. We have an actual game developer in the chat right now, in Vince Venturella, and I wonder what he thinks. Vince, when you develop a game, do you care at all about theme? Is that important to you? Do you do it alongside of your development, or do you do all of the mechanics generically and then hand it off to Adam, who then does the theme? Like, what are your thoughts? Scott needs the Death Knight Cliff Notes. Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly what I need. A Death Knight has mime powers? No.
You sure?
No.
Because you don't sound sure.
I don't know, Xander Zone. Unfortunately, I don't know. But I'm having a lot of fun in the meantime. It depends on the designer, but it appears most people design with theme in mind. Silence Knight sounds kind of creepy. That does sound kind of creepy.
I got it.
Okay. Sounds like Scott should have come to Nova to attend Vincent Adams' panel discussion on game design. Why does that happen at Adepticon? What the fuck? No, I wish. Fuck, I wish. That sounds like so much fun. Someone like Reiner Nietzsche or Kinzia, who is a mathematician. Oh, I know that name. That was one of the names in the book that I read. Designs a whole game on mechanisms alone and hands it to a publisher to add theme. Exactly, yeah. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. If only Adepticon didn't sell out of rooms in 30 seconds. There are other hotels, but unlike Nova, which seems to have very accessible hotels to the venue, there aren't many close hotels that wouldn't require you to get an Uber or drive or have a fairly long walk, which is not ideal when you have a bunch of like minis and shit to carry. Okay, now John's just saying flat out that it's better? Okay. Are you sure you're not thinking of a ring wraith? You know, professional paint liquor? I'm not really thinking of anything specifically. I kind of just started with the format of a Death Knight, and I'm kind of playing with that to see what works, what doesn't work. Maybe it's similar to a ring wraith and a traditional Death Knight, but at this point I'm kind of trying to create my own thing, in a way. Wraith Knight, here we go. What was the deal with that, Evan?
It was your landlord.
Oh, what did he say?
He said that if we don't stop talking about painting miniatures, he's going to come in here and stab you to death.
Okay, wow.
No, he was telling me that there may still be vent outlets on the roof that we could hook up to if you wanted to pipe stuff out. He's going to go up there and check because they have re-roofed since then. But as long as the CFM isn't too high, we may not have to capture and filter a bunch of stuff through carbon filters.
Okay, awesome. So I kind of assumed that I would just not be able to vent outside at all in this office space. But I sent him an email today asking.
Yeah.
And apparently it might be possible.
Might be.
That's cool.
He's going to check. And then we can pump the volatile, horrible hydrocarbons out into the other spaces.
Yes.
For other people.
For other people to deal with. Okay,
Yeah.
so ink is definitely not speckling as much as the paint was. Rufus says, but then I will lose heat and have to solve that problem. Okay, good point. Maybe but you did mention that if I'm just using a vat warmer, then that's not so much a problem, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'll have to do some testing. What up, Nade? Hey, I know Nade. Nade, you're the sculptor for a popular STL Patreon that I can't remember the name of. Shoot. Also, you have the word crisis in your name, spelled the right way, and so I like you. Bite the bullet, yes, bite the bullet. Thank you. Oh, I didn't put any medium in here. Let me do that real quick. Not varnish. Apparently that doesn't work. Medium specifically. Flow medium. Sure, why not? It's okay, Minnesota has trees. The solution to pollution is dilution.
You get your phone on you?
I do, yeah.
Can you unlock it and hand it to me?
Yeah. I always forget how I'm like hooked to the bench or something. This is only the second model I primed today. It's the third model that we've done a zenithal undercoat to. So use that information in whatever way you want. It's good when the medium flows. I agree. Aquasphere. Oh, another game, another question that they answered, which was really cool, is like, what game would you recommend to a fledgling game designer? And so I have like a little list of like games to try out just based on that question alone, which is cool. I like that question.
No, chat. I had to do two-step verification to relog into Twitch.
What? You checking for nudes? Oh, he's gonna take nudes on my phone.
Chat was accusing me of taking dirty pictures of my chair parts.
With my chair parts.
Oh my god, he's showing off his raw casters.
Oh, that lumbar support.
Oh! The piston sliding up and down.
He's ordering 31 cheeseburgers.
shit, I should have done that. Should have got myself some blue cheese to go with all the fucking wings I have at home.
Yeah, dude.
Scott, you should have come to China restaurant.
I just don't think anything beats Szechuan.
Scott, you should have come to China restaurant.
The more accurate response was me and Pete Shirley were talking for like at least 20 minutes when everyone left.
Yeah.
And so I just drove to Shake Shack because it was faster. But I'll go at least once, I think.
We went to China restaurant both days.
You did?
Well, because see the thing is Adam missed out on the first day because he had to stay and run the con and stuff.
Okay.
And so the second day he's like, yeah, once we're like wrapping up and I've got the team packing up, we're going again.
What did the person from Singapore think of the food?
I mean, he thinks it's an abomination, but it was good. Like, you know, cream cheese wontons aren't really a thing in Asia because cream cheese isn't really a thing in Asia.
That's true.
But he's like, it's just fried cheese. And then he eats it like really slowly, like really suspicious. And he's like, yeah, it tastes good, but like, how's this Chinese? And it's like, it's not, but that's the point. Welcome to China restaurant. I want to be very clear, chat. I am not talking about a Chinese restaurant. It is called China Restaurant. I can't spell restaurant. It's one of the few words that I cannot remember how to spell.
Restaurant? Restaurant. Restaurant. It's res, faction tau, and then rant.
I just have to like try like 6 times every time.
Oh, okay.
It's just like Asian Mall. Yes, Cornflake Justice, this falls into that camp. It's legitimately amazing.
Rufus mentions Tash Kalar as another game to try out based on the game that I want to make. I have never heard of that game.
Tash Kalar?
Yeah. Tash Kalar. Arena of Legends. That sounds right. 7.2 on BGG. Not too bad, not too bad. Deploy your minions in magical formations to summon forth legendary creatures. It's an abstract dueling game. All right.
Like dueling isn't real, it's a metaphysical concept.
Yeah. You're dueling in the mind.
I like watching paint streams where the painting happens off camera.
Do you? Man, I feel like I'm like right on the green line.
I think your camera might be a little
I think I'm gonna move the
tweaked.
green line. Oops. Quickly move that over like 2 inches.
HUD wants to know, what was the game that Scott talked about a while ago that had people activating on a timeline?
Might have been the game that I'm making, or the game that inspired that timeline thing, which was Patchwork, which is a very simple game which uses quilting as a theme.
Yeah, I've played Patchwork before.
It has a very satisfying push-pull mechanic in it, where you can spend victory points to further progress your strategy, but you're spending the points that you're using to win the fucking game. And so it's like, how many of those do you spend to like get the right return on your investment? It's very satisfying. I don't know if that's, was that it though? HUD the Hobby Daddy?
You know what I saw at Game Center?
What was that?
Conquest. And then I remembered that I want to play Conquest on stream with you at some point. It requires us getting Conquest at some point.
It also requires us to learn how to play the game.
Yeah. They also have Learn to Plays every Saturday over there at about
That's
noon.
still happening. Okay.
That's what I saw on the sign on the Conquest thing.
Good.
And I was like, I will absorb this information and pass it along to Scott when I see him next.
Yeah. It's like two people can be on different turns. It was definitely many. It's the mech game.
Yeah, the mech game by Blacklight Studios. That's
no. We demoed this at Adepticon.
Yeah.
It's made by the person who made the original Rogue Trader.
Oh, there's that too. I mean, like both of these games have. God, there's a lot of stuff with interesting refresh mechanics that I've played recently. There's shoot, what's it called? Hang on. Why can't I remember the name of that game now?
Freaking A.
Mech game Adepticon minus Battletech.
The game had a very anime-inspired name.
Yeah, no, I got it. Xeogenesis.
Xeogenesis.
And I'm hyped for it. And I sent them an email to get on the playtest, and I haven't heard back. I want to play. I want to play. Yeah, that one was like, it was alternating activations, and as you move through your stuff, you only refresh your stuff once you've used all your stuff. I did also play the Combat Zone Cyberpunk game by Monster Fight Club a couple weeks ago. And I enjoyed it, and that has an interesting activation mechanic. It's alternating activations, but you can use one of your actions with a character to, instead of performing an action, to try and link to another character and have them perform their turn. You may fail. It's a dice roll. So it's like each character will have like 2 or 3 actions, and it's like I can use my third action to try and activate another guy in range, or I can just take my third action and do an attack or whatever. And then to refresh your activations, you just take a turn to clear it. And it's very, very interesting because the turn that you take to clear it, all of your one action mook guys go at once. So and you can choose to do it at any time. You could go with your hero, then go with your mooks, then go with that same hero again. It's very interesting.
Can I remake Guild Ball? No. I have faith that Steamforge is going to do it for me. Give Guild Ball 5 years. 5 years. Mark your calendars. 5 years from now, if a Guild Ball isn't a game, you can come into this chat and you can be like, "I told you so."
5 years from now?
From now, yeah. I think we'll see Guild Ball come back.
We'll all be dead at that point.
Nice, that was it. Great, okay. I was concerned that wasn't going to be it because you mentioned the word timeline. And there wasn't an explicit timeline. Does Mobile Arms have a similar mechanic in it then?
I think that Mobile Arms you score when you refresh, and you may refresh at different times than your opponent or something.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just remembering Xeogenesis and it's infecting my mind because that game was the tits.
All right, I want to play Eric. I want to paint Eric first. And the way I did him last time was with a lot of teals and saturated blues and stuff.
You painted Eric before?
No.
Yeah, there you go. That's the right answer.
I
don't know, man. I think Steamforge is too busy doing all these licensed products to ever come back to Guild Ball.
Possibly. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of game companies like to bank on nostalgia. But I guess maybe there's not a lot of nostalgia for a game that didn't get played a ton. And like also I talked with people from Steamforge, just one employee, and he says there's a lot of love there still for Guild Ball. They have like a huge statue, like a life-size statue of Butcher in their main office. And so I feel like it might come back. I don't know. I could be wrong though. They could sell the game license to an upstart game company, Miniac Studios. No. This is the other thing that I'm concerned about with game design, is that a game needs to be supported. So if I make a fucking game, I'm not gonna have time to fucking support it. It's gonna just become a piece of shit.
I mean, there is the truth of this, that most of the content creators that we know that make games partner with a studio for actual production, design consultation, and ongoing support, like Malev's games with Black Site and so on.
Yeah.
And There's nothing wrong with that.
There isn't. This is true. There isn't.
I'm positive that there are a number of companies out there that would be more than happy to, once Scott has the actual prototype in hand and here's the theming and aesthetics, help him get it over the finish line.
That'd be great. That would be great. What if you don't physically publish it? Yeah. Just release the rules under an appropriate Creative Commons. I think I want to do both things. Maybe not under Creative Commons, but what I want to do is I want to do this in stages. I would like to work on a prototype with the rules, and then at some point release like the PDF of the rules with no miniatures at all. And then at some time later, release like a boxed product that had miniatures for the game and also a board or whatever, or rule book, etc., tokens. But obviously people can still play with the PDF and whatever models and stuff they want. Just because that seems like an easier thing. I often like to hold on for so long until everything is perfect and then let go. Whereas I think I can just do more of like a, something simpler. Okay, I'm going to paint his, the lowest fabric on Eric in a cream color. And to do that, I'm going to do what I did in my vampire proxy video, where I will highlight with a cream color, but I'll do a thinner version of that color down here, and a thicker version up here, where it's brighter. I'm going to use the same color we used to highlight the other two models, Light Earth. I could use the airbrush color that I used. It's still right here in this little cup, but I just don't have as great experience paintbrushing with ink as I do acrylic paint. So I'll just use that. You know what? I think this yellow color actually is a little bit too yellow. So I'm gonna get some of this Gris Grafeno, which is like a off-white blue, and we'll just mix it in there to make it a little bit more the color that I have on the model, a little bit darker as well. Just hire a really good CEO to do all the credit taking. Yeah, there you go. That's a reference. Chad, do you know what that's a reference to? Rain and Hell had an expansion. How much of a CEO do you want to be? Zero. And this is the thing that I figured out about YouTube some time ago, is that to be an effective YouTuber, you need to, in some part, also be a businessman or businesswoman. I don't care to do that. I don't want to do that. I just want to make videos and paint miniatures, and I think I'm pretty good at that. I'm not good at running a company, which some of you have seen.
You're not bad at running a company, Scott.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not. I guess. Yeah, not bad.
There's a lot of room between being like a great businessman and being a bad businessman, and you're just somewhere right in the middle of that bell curve.
That's true. That's true. I also don't want to do it. I prefer to not have that responsibility.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that I'm not terrible. I unfortunately get and I'm feeling the consequences of the reference. Sag. Okay. So wow. Okay. I didn't think anyone would actually get it, but okay. Awesome. All right, a little bit of white paint, because I feel like this is going to darken down the yellow a bit too much. But a little bit of blue, a lot of this cream. Well, maybe it won't darken down that much, okay? Maybe I was wrong. Jeffree Star is super rich, even though he is hated because he is good at business.
Business.
I'm a businessman with a business plan.
Definitely not a cop.
All right. That's still too opaque.
Vincent Adult Man. Yeah.
Still too opaque. Ear cam? Uh-oh. Did I fuck up?
Nah, you're doing fine. Actually, you've been doing really great at keeping your face out today. Although you have gone off stage right a couple times, but I think we fixed that now.
Okay. Sometimes if I get in like these really dark areas over here, I'll just grab this Gris Grafeno color just straight up and just put it in that dark area and just do a little wet blend from that super dark undercoat over into my lighter cream color. So you can kind of see how there's just a little bit of a wet blend to make that transition a little bit less dramatic. I went to the stock market today. I did a business. Nice. Hi. I'm also like that. I'll take a leader role when I have to, but I will skirt it as soon as possible. Hate that kind of responsibility. You know what? I actually don't mind being a leader. This is gonna sound super like self-obsessed, but I don't mind leading. But there's like a certain element of like business savvy that I don't have and don't find joy in learning.
Scott likes controlling everything, but he doesn't like thinking about business ramifications.
Right. So I want to be the creative director, I believe would be the term. Kind of like what Linus just did.
Yeah, you want to be the chief vision officer.
Yeah, is that what they call it? Okay,
yeah.
Chief vision officer.
That was just because they needed to come up with a memeable name, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, someone who's just doing content, doesn't want to do all of the business crap.
Yeah, it's like I want someone to be like, no, Scott, you can't make that video this month. You have to do this thing first, and then you can make that video, and then we won't sink the ship. And I'm like, okay, fine. I want someone to do that thinking. There's more than just that, but that kind of stuff. What's the ROI on your CPM versus your BDE? Don't do what Linus did. I mean, there are some things that Linus does that are really good. Speaking of Josh Davis and All Gravy Games, I wonder what Will Hungerford is up to. You know what Will Hungerford's up to, Josh? He developed the second half of Rivenstone, for all those curious. He works at a video game design company. Okay, cool. Poor Sky has a cold. Yeah, I got a cold from New York, but it was not bad, actually. I don't feel really bad. I just have an annoying cough and some congestion. And I did a couple COVID tests, and they all returned negative, so I feel okay with Evan being here and being poisoned by me. That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm just a chair. I can't get poisoned.
That's true.
It's on my stat card.
Not affected by poison. All right, cool. And now we got that cream kind of tunic part done. And so now I'll start painting the other layers of his fabric he's got going on here. So let's think here. Should we do brown and then a blue? I had teal. The top color I had was teal on that part. That seemed okay. I think teal is a little bit too vibrant for Greyjoy. And maybe I'll do a brown. So we'll do brown for the gloves, the boots, and maybe something else. I never like doing a brown leather color for just the boots and the gloves on a model because it just seems like he's a Mickey Mouse then. The brown needs to be somewhere else on the miniature. I just don't know where. Maybe I'll do it up here. I'll do it up here. I'll go to a nice, lovely, warm color on the shoulder, like a yellowy color. And then on the middle thing, which seems to be a wrap, like if you look at it here, it's like this fabric overlaps this fabric. But if I spin the model around, we see it's just one continuous piece of fabric. So that should all be one color, despite the fact that it's layered. So it seems like it's almost like twisted around the model. So we'll go blue there, brown, 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 and then something else for like the feathery skirt thing. You pass 100% of the Cobra test you don't take? The never-ending sculpt spiral cloth. Yes. Let's do the blue first, though.
Blue first.
Blue first. Okay, let's grab Bearing Blue, probably from scale 75. That one's easy for me to use. Actually, let's just grab this blue color, which is pretty similar to Bearing Blue, because I don't want to look for it. We'll water it down a bit. Actually, let's use John's method of painting called, what did you call it, John? You said you have like, there was smash chop, then there was suck cut, and then there was chop smash, and then there was, no, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna take this blue color. Oh, you know what? It's not gonna work because the shadows aren't dark enough. Okay. Remembering all these things. Let's take a bit of this and mix some white in and go from there. Because again, I'm lazy. I don't want to look for Bearing Blue. Pretty.
I've been sucked into looking at Conquest because I mentioned it. And there's new things. There are some pretty sick new orcs that ride dinosaurs and giant mammoths and stuff.
Are you into that kind of thing?
No, but yes.
No, but yes.
They're cool enough that I could see myself being into it.
Okay. Slut butt. It's all the rave. So we got a Moby.
They're like orcs that are riding Triceratops with like a fantasy Mongolia theme to them, which is a lot. And that dinosaur has a fucking beard. That's cool. Malev rating us with a party of 24.
Malev, it's about time you pay me back. Goddamn. I've rated you enough. You get no more of my raids. No.
Sure.
Thank you, Malev. I appreciate it, man. I'm learning things right now. The shadow color I left behind with the airbrush is not very dark. So even if I leave behind that shadow by like carefully base coating and avoiding it, it's not gonna look like anything. I need to have a sufficiently bright enough highlight or a dark enough shadow for that stuff to show up. And so what I'll do instead is I'll just do a base coat, totally obliterating my undercoat, and then wash it and then layer it up. But now I know that. Now I learned a lesson. Tracking off Nightshade, where you at? There you is. Malev farts on planes, dude? Malev. Come on, bro. That's not okay. You probably fart in elevators too, man. Slander. What I'm saying isn't making any sense about like the level of like darkness for the base coat or brightness for the highlight. Let me know and I can re-explain. The wash being applied over here on these smoother details isn't even going to be necessary because I'm going to cover it all up completely. Okay, whatever. Prove that you never farted on a plane before? Okay. Maybe. Ooh, okay, I just had a fun idea. Let's use some of this more red-brown color for the leather as opposed to something more yellowy.
Red-brown.
Yeah, I like this color a lot. Reddish black from AK.
Mm-hmm. You've never gone to the bathroom on a plane?
Really? Never.
What?
That's crazy.
I'm on a streak I never want to break. Don't hurt yourself. You gotta fly over to Spain for like Monty or whatever, and it's like on a plane for 4 hours trying to hold it while your kidneys like slowly explode.
Food poisoning the second a flight took off. Oh my God, dude. I had to go to the bathroom really badly one time on a plane, and I was like standing up next to the bathroom because someone was in it, but we were taking off, and they were like, "Sir, you cannot be standing while the plane is taking off." And I was like, "Do you want me to shit in my seat, bro?" I didn't say that, but I wanted to say that.
One of the Song of Ice and Fire's planes, Song of Ice and Fire players' planes, had to be delayed and no-go'd because it didn't have working bathrooms. Requirement for flight.
Very important.
They sat there for 3 hours on the tarmac, and then I think they deboarded and had to get on a different plane. The Idiot Painter says, I have a coworker who refuses to dump at work while on shift. We are on shift for 24 hours. I don't know how he's not dead. Yes, Rufus, the flight was less than 3 hours. Airliners just cannot take off without a working bathroom. See, the kid, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'm free. I get to work, and it's happening now. I didn't have to poop until I arrived at work, and now it's like it's someone else's toilet. It's someone else's problem. All this talk about this makes me want you to do some work to Eric Ironmaker.
All this talk makes you want to do what?
You should change what he's sitting on.
To a frozen throne?
To an outhouse.
Yeah, that'd be kind of hilarious. Thing is, I'm not as cool as Carl West Coast Bannerman. Okay, I appreciate funny things in modeling, but I could never invest in like an entire army concept like as that. I suppose just Eric could be on a toilet and it'd be like a little Easter egg. But yeah, that'd be hard for me to make like an entirely funny army.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I have an alternate scheme for my army, but it still is relatively serious. It's not like a meta joke or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm lazily using the same colors that are on my palette, and there's like 3 colors on my palette, the blue shawl is ending up looking more like this area down here, and not so much a distinct thing. So let me just grab a contrast paint here, and we'll apply a little bit of it as like a glaze, just to tint this to be a different hue a little bit. Let's see how strong it is with a little bit of water. Just want to kind of add this to the shadows, and that should be like good enough to like differentiate it from the other blue that is present on the model, or the other blue that uses the same highlight color, I should say. All right, cool. Now, also to differentiate a little bit further, instead of using the same cream color as the lower part is tunic, we'll use pastel blue. Just tint later. Scott doesn't have the dedication to meme. How dare you? How fucking dare you?
Not for a whole army.
I'm a goddamn. Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the problem of me reading messages like 2 minutes after I make a thing.
Yeah.
That thing just completely exits my mind. It's actually crazy.
It's gone.
I'm the worst Twitch streamer ever. I cannot maintain a conversation that lasts longer than 30 seconds. Eric Poopy Maker. All right, a little pastel blue. Will this look different enough? We will see. I painted my Space Marines in New York's Yankees colors and symbols, and people got real mad.
It's not okay.
Because of baseball reasons?
Probably got mad because you're not taking our lore seriously.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
I don't know. Could also just be that, fuck the Yankees or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fair enough, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care about sports.
Neither do I.
I've only worked at a sports radio station for 11 years.
So surely you know something about sports.
I can pretend that I both know what I'm talking about and care. If people get mad at you for making fun of 40K, they're not good people. That's what I have to say. They're intrinsically bad.
If people can't handle your 40K ribbing?
If people legitimately get mad at you for, quote, making fun of 40K, that is a personal failing on their part. If you're making fun of them for liking 40K, then not so much. But yeah, same Rufus. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Cornflake justice. It is not
Just
a
joking,
thing,
bro.
not a thing to be taken completely seriously, or at all seriously. It's actually just little plastic army men fighting over a universe that is nothing but fighting forever.
It's a silly place, like Camelot.
Yep, this is a silly place.
Knowing things and caring are two different things. People often conflate the two.
That's true.
I've hidden message in commission works before. Nice. I haven't hidden messages, but I've put messages in commissions before that are maybe a little too obvious. The almighty Spaz. Thank you for the prime sub. Oh, also, we don't have a giveaway running right now, and it's maybe a little bit too late to start one, but Simon gave me a lot of swag bags, and by a lot, I mean 3.
Jesus.
Yes, they gave me 3 swag bags for the event.
I am back in now that I got logged in the middle of the stream. That was the reason I didn't set up one, is because I couldn't get into the dashboard, and I was thinking about that as we were starting the stream.
That's okay. But I want to give away each of these swag bags just as one big unit for our future painting streams. So I have 3 of them, so I'll probably do the 3 in the next 3 streams. To give you an idea of what's in here, there's like some fun things like giant Simon colored dice with like the Simon logo as the 6.
No, not as the 6.
Oh, as the 1?
As the 1.
Oh no. Okay.
They're also, I would call those spin down dice.
Oh, okay.
Because they're big and
Yeah.
they will destroy your minis, and they are not balanced.
Of course, right. You're gonna use it for like turns or
Yeah.
scenarios or whatever.
They're pretty cool though. They
Yeah.
are big.
They are big.
50 mil dice or something like that.
There's like tchotchke stuff in here, like coasters with Blood Rage theming on it, or like a Cthulhu, Death May Die, mask,
There's like masks, yeah. and
lanyard. But for the cool shit, there is this really nice neoprene mat that's got Rising Sun and Blood Rage art on it. I don't know what it's for. Do you know what this is for? Like what game or what purpose this has, or is it just a nice mat?
I think it's just a nice mat.
Okay, just a nice neoprene
I
mat.
think it's like one of those standard card gamer size mats.
Yes, it is. It did seem that way.
And it just has, the art for a few different games. So just play space, I think.
Okay. Mac Blaze, thanks for the Prime sub. And then other cool stuff, there are the classic promo models for Song, which are Renly Baratheon, Stannis Baratheon, and also the guy that looks like
It's George R. R. Martin.
George R. R. Martin,
Yeah, High Seneschal or whatever.
the High Seneschal. Aside from that, there are 2 new boxes of Bolton stuff, House Bolton stuff.
Dreadfort stuff.
The Dreadfort.
It's important to note that those are not neutral boxes.
No, they're not.
They're for the new faction of Bolton specific stuff.
Okay, so the faction's called, is it called House
it's
Dreadfort?
House Bolton, but it's Dreadfort units, and it's just worth pointing out that they can't be used in any armor. They only can be used with Boltons.
This is true. So 2 new units of them.
They do have some pretty rad sculpts. I don't know if you've actually looked at them.
I have. We cracked open a starter set while I was there. And then the last and biggest box, I gotta say, it's just a little bit of a disappointment. It's so big, but all that's in here is reusable face masks, coasters, stickers,
There's like standees in there, right?
maybe, and then a big puzzle. So
Yeah, it's the 10 years of Zombicide celebration box, and they clearly planned that thing like a year and a half ago.
it's just like, I don't need cardboard Zombicide coasters. That's just not what I want. But maybe if you like Zombicide a lot, this would be cool for you.
It is limited edition and whatnot, which is all cool.
Yes. So there's some cool stuff.
There's some limited edition card packs in there and stuff as well.
There are other things in here that I'm not really showing off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll give those away the next couple painting streams. So come for the next ones, and I'll paint extremely slowly.
This has been like one of the least productive paint streams we've ever done.
Yeah, I know I'm great, aren't I?
We're just a lot of talking.
A lot of chatting, yeah.
Framing. Framing.
Oh. What is in frame? This. Okay. It might seem bizarre that I don't know what the framing is, but because I use this set for filming on as well, I'm very often moving the camera up and down, and so it changes. It changes a lot. So whenever I put it down, I don't have a way to get it back in the perfect spot again.
That's true. You did Prime and Zenithal. 2 minis. Almighty Spaz and Mac Blaze subscribed while you were talking about the swag bag, by the way.
Awesome.
One for 10 months, that was Spaz, saying, Huzzah!
Huzzah!
And Mac Blaze for 6 months.
Nice.
Pretty sweet.
It's so sweet. I already said their names.
Well, I don't know if you saw both of them, so whatever. Fine. Be that way.
I know. I appreciate the attention. Thank you, Rufus Kid. All right. I don't like how bright this edge highlight is toward the bottom, so we'll get some more of that nice contrast color. Kind of tone it down a bit.
Oh, I thought you said you don't like how bright it is. I thought you meant you needed to make it brighter.
No, a little bit darker. And then I'm gonna kind of sneak this highlight kind of more over, because there's a lot of darkness, and then suddenly it got bright right in his shoulder.
Darkness.
Okay, good enough. Okay. Now let's do the brown parts, which we're going to do with some lovely dark brown red color. How should I do these? Let's try the old speed painting method I use, where you base coat in a thinned down version of the color and then wash it and then highlight it after. This is very inefficient how I'm painting this model stream, but it's okay. Oh, you know what? I can't even do the method of speed painting that John showed off with this model because he didn't zenithly undercoat it. He like painted a bunch of different shadow colors all over the model and then highlighted from there, as opposed to using the airbrush. This color looks a little wacky, but I'm hoping that it'll look less wacky when I maybe apply a blue wash to it or something. We'll see though, we'll see. Someone who knows what's Emil's like Titan diorama at for raffles in the NOCF, or what did it get to? I don't know if it's still going on. It might not be.
Sounds like a absolute nightmare to ship that thing.
Oh yeah, dude. We talked about it in the podcast briefly, and I think I mentioned I would not want to be the person responsible for doing that, because that would be just so terrifying to fuck that up.
Runs for 2 weeks, ends on September 23rd.
Okay.
$1,000 prize for the Dueling Titans, or $20,000. What? You can just take a cash prize instead of that sick diorama?
Yeah, there's a game store that offered up a bounty for anyone who won it, that they would just buy it off of them for 20 grand.
That's pretty sick.
Broken Eyed Channel?
Alright, so where do I click to actually do it?
Initially, this is seeming more like a scheme choice than a neutral color. Like it'd be cool to have Greyjoys that have a desaturated red and a desaturated blue, like as two main colors in a scheme, which is not my current army. But that doesn't really matter to me. I think it could still look. I think it'll still look okay once I kind of darken it down a bit more. But I don't mind this color combination at the moment. Also, I missed some cream-colored sleeves here. I gotta get some highlights on these bad boys. Okay, cool. Let's test that theory. Apply a little bit of a blue wash and see what happens. We were talking about the emote I used. Gotcha. Okay.
The emote.
There's also a YouTube offering. There's a YouTube offering the same amount for the diorama. Okay, like a channel. Which channel? Good guy. That seems interesting.
Is it time for you to offer a bounty on it?
No, I don't want it.
Certainly
major
not.
kill. Okay, cool. I don't not want it, but I can't pay for it.
Yeah, 20 grand is a lot.
I would have bought a raffle ticket or two for it though. If I was at the. Well, I guess you can do it online.
You can do it online. I'm looking at it right now.
Nice.
One ticket's $10. 2 or more tickets are $9 a piece.
Did you say what it had gotten to?
It doesn't have a running tally.
Oh, okay.
As far as I can tell. I assume that they'll just announce it at the end.
Okay. You just need to stay open, you stupid fucking paint pot. Thank you.
For those that are wondering what we're talking about, there's a link in the chat to it. Seems pretty neat. I think I would have a tough time passing up the $20,000 versus a really kick-ass diorama, but it is a really kick-ass diorama.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 grand will buy a lot of kick-ass dioramas. Well, it'll buy a lot of plastic that I won't paint. That I'll tell myself it's going to be a kick-ass diorama.
Yeah. You're like, oh, the potential.
And then at some point, if I ever have kids, they'll inherit a bunch of fucking classic miniatures from the early 2020s. Yeah, Rufus Kit, you're right. It is the same thing. I definitely get the same sense of self-satisfaction looking at my piles and piles of boxes of song stuff.
You see this? See what's going on here, chat? I'm just wiping away that undercoat. All right. Obviously, I'll stop doing that because that's not very productive. But yeah.
So that medium didn't work?
Well, I mean, I applied it halfway through, so
That's fair.
at least that amount of effort did not work. And more, but again, I'm not like this is weird because it worked elsewhere. So I wonder why it's decided to not work right now. Maybe the paint layer I put on top of the ink wasn't as thick as the blue shawl that I painted earlier. That's possible. Either way, I don't like the magenta. It did not turn out well. It's too much of a statement to be included in my scheme and in my army generically.
I think if you started there and then worked it much more tan, like a very faded magenta leather, it probably wouldn't look so stark. But
Yeah, that's possible. I'm not gonna I won't repaint it, but I will heavily highlight to adjust the hue a little bit. And I will start with a red that I'll mix with some blue, and then maybe some kind of tan, maybe just some white. We'll see.
Monument Hobbies, resubscribe, 6 months.
What up, Jason? Have you ever used oils to paint a mini? No, I haven't.
I've done it once. I agree with your assessment. It's kind of chill. I don't know if I would call it easy because there's some stuff where you're just like, oh, I'll never come back from this until I can either wipe it all off or reassess. But it was the most fun I've ever had painting a cloak.
Well, I fucking bet it was, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's easy. Some colors feel easier than others. I was enjoying purple a lot. I was not enjoying trying to paint like gold colors. Nerd enabler is definitely my job title. Yeah.
Who's a nerd enabler? Hello,
Jason for Monument.
NRD. He's a nerd. Mycelium veins, late to the party. Late to the party, but always welcome. Think of it as a.
Travel Cedric just gifted 5 subs.
Woo! Thank you, Travel Cedric. Appreciate it. If you got a sub from Travel Cedric, make sure to thank him in the chat. Appreciate it, man.
Are you fighting a cold there, Scott?
Yep. Something like that. But I don't like feel bad though. Only when I get a cold, I like feel like physically ill.
Drained.
Yeah, but I kind of just, annoyed by a cough and some congestion.
Yeah, you were initially worried that it was the Rona.
The Rona. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. This color is not dark enough. Where's my deep blue?
Deep.
I'm trying to do the same thing I did earlier with the cloth, where when I get to the dark parts of the model, I start to wet blend in a darker color to transition. But the skin is in need of a little bit of a darker shadow. So we're gonna get some deep blue on the palette. Maybe try to do that again. Oh, thanks, Jason. Yeah. Sounds like allergies. It's definitely not allergies. Just because, maybe it is. I don't know. It's hard to know. Who knows?
Allergic to the New York state of mind.
Yeah. Me and Amber always talk about like wanting to live in New York whenever we go to New York. I think we wouldn't like that. I think we would really enjoy just visiting it like we do now.
I narrowly avoided buying a Monument Hobbies Go bag yesterday.
Narrowly.
Just dodged it.
You gotta work on that advertisement, Jason.
No. They have them at the source right now.
Okay.
Because Jim wanted to pick up one, and he was like, "You sure a couple more for paint night people?" And I get the shakes.
Get the shakes.
I don't need it. I mean, like, I actually really badly need it, but I don't need it.
You really badly need it.
I mean, you've seen how I lug my paints around.
Yeah. Wait, have I? Do you have like a big tool chest or something?
Yeah, I have a tool chest that's just got a big pile of paints inside it. Ooh, cool accessories coming for the bag. Cut it out. I really don't need to spend more money. Jason, please.
All right. For painting the face here, I'm just gonna paint over my Zenithal undercoat because I just like painting faces a lot, and I want to paint it nicely.
Longest Beast, I definitely have already done that. I have every Pro Acryl product. I don't have every Monument Hobbies product, but I have every Pro Acryl product. Pretty sure. Oh, no, I don't have the gloss varnish. Which is new. Summonless Maker, subscribing with Prime, 8 months. Man, time flies, man.
Thank you for the sub, Summonless Maker. Appreciate it.
I also just bought another brush pack, and Monument Hobbies is gifting 10 subs.
Hey!
Jason, we can't keep you in business if you just keep giving us all your money.
It's okay, Jason. I will take all of your money.
Yeah, you know what? Forget I said anything. Just feel free.
Yep. Though on a more serious note, thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate the support you consistently give to the stream. It really means a lot.
Wait, we're supposed to keep this money? The giveaway counter is currently hidden. It's secret. But I think we might have just hit it. No, we haven't. We have 13 to go before we hit a giveaway thing. But we're going to give away the bags next stream.
Yes.
I don't really have a giveaway prep because I couldn't do it at the beginning of the stream because I was locked out of all of our Twitch accounts.
You know also he arrived here at 13 minutes before the stream started?
That's plenty of time, Scott. I was ready to go on time.
Okay.
We did start a little late, but you were wandering around, so.
Okay.
Also, I had to bring in that gigantic fucking box.
Hey, but you knew you had to bring that in.
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have had to make 2 trips. It's so big.
Shouldn't happen. Won't happen again.
I just should have remembered the first time. I told you to not let me forget, and then I forgot. You didn't let me forget, but I forgot the first time, so.
Stromboli Jason in here tossing money like it's garlic toast. Next time, call me to carry in the giant. No, Rufus, we can't trust you. Okay.
That's true.
You've clearly made it known that you are gonna be stealing some, or maybe even buying it from eBay. Are you gonna do that? Are you actually gonna buy the Galactus mini? It didn't seem that expensive.
I mean, it's Cool Mini or not. Most of their products are relatively reasonably priced.
Yeah. What's it gonna be?
The shipping will destroy you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, okay. The shipping might
Get that
cost-
on Prime. Get that free shipping on that,
Oh my gosh.
like, 16 cubic foot box or whatever.
Let's get a small.
Maybe next week for September we'll put that on the chopping block if we get like some ridiculous amount of subs. Give away the Galactus if we get like 400 subs in the stream.
Nope.
Not worth?
I'm not gonna commit to that. No, I mean I want to keep it because I think it'd be cool for like a prop.
It is cool. But if we get enough subs, you could just buy another one.
Yeah, sure. If I get 1,000 subs.
All right, there we go. That's the number. It won't happen. But if it happens, we'll do a Galactus giveaway. What Galactus? Who Galactus? Is it still floating around somewhere, or did it go back in the box?
Oh no, it's right next to me.
You should wave it around again. We waved it around at the beginning of the stream. So there's a bunch of people here who don't know about Galactus.
Don't know. I gotta put his arm.
They ain't heard about no Galactus.
Our Lord and Savior Galactus.
I don't think he's much of a savior. You know, it's big because Scott's struggling.
Okay, I got the arm in, kind of actually.
It's like the size of like a 1-year-old.
It really is. What the fuck? This is my homie, Galactus.
Thanks again to our friends at Cool Mini for giving this to us.
Travel Cedric says, holy crap, that's huge!
It is.
It's very big.
It is. It's a gameplay expansion for Marvel Zombies. You get a giant Galactus and like game mode stuff, and it has zombie arm and head and regular arm and head.
Oh god. Stay on their head.
That squeaking noise is really unpleasant.
I know. But I really want to get the arm fully in, like the head goes in so nicely.
Yeah, maybe you need a bit of grease.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of grease. John says you could paint this in 2 hours. Honestly, I believe it. Sounds like PVC. Yeah.
You just need, if you're gonna slap top it, you just need a dry brush that's like 3 or 4 inches in diameter.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that they still found a way to make even this giant miniature have a zombie version.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Replacement head and arm.
Where's the other head at? You should swap them out.
Oh yeah, let's get that. Oh, thanks for the sub from Ninjan. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, here's the other head. Boom. Yeah, that one's a little bit harder. Yeah, pretty cool. Luis Sudgen says sculptors use nose grease to work with their green stuff. So I actually, someone said that in my Dark Eldar video. They were like, I know it's gross, but you could rub your sculpting tool on your nose and that would work too. And I'd done that since then, and it does work.
The sub alert cat was like perfectly in place of where his head was as he pulled the head off. Yeah.
Jess Curdy, thanks for the Prime sub. What a shame, Ninja without a sub. Yeah. I mean, he supports me on Patreon. That's good enough. Oh,
and emotionally.
And emotionally.
God, it's so big.
Good boy.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Back of your ear as well. You can get some good skin grease off. Okay.
Gilded Lion, he'll paint that on a 24-hour stream when we get 1,000 subs. Rufus Kit says, it clearly doesn't fit the set. He'll have to give it away.
Yeah, I don't think it works very well in this one. I mean, I could just move some stuff. Like maybe like the wolf one could go elsewhere.
So size-wise, what are those shelves from IKEA called? Those
Kallax?
Yeah. That Kallax shelf next to him would just have to have all its shelves removed.
Yes.
And he would just sit in the center of a 2-foot by 2-foot opening.
Just buy a whole Kallax unit for Galactus and don't put any of the shelves in.
It would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Kitten, if you want one of them, they have like 10 of these at the source.
Seriously? 10?
Yeah.
Just because they got dropped off, or because they actually bought 10 to try to sell 10?
Because they get in on the big, huge, super Kickstarters, and they often have the special things from Kickstarters. And they got their Galactuses like a little bit ago. I mean, you've seen the one they had them. It was like their front display for a while, like right after Leviathan.
I just figured they wouldn't sell those so easily, so why would they buy 10 of them?
I may be exaggerating. They may only have like 6 or 8.
Okay.
But they have them.
Yes.
I think they have 2 of the Cthulhus now, too.
Just Curdy says look fantastic today. Thank you. I appreciate it.
There's a card for him from MCP that a guy made. He's ridiculous.
Is
yeah,
there?
I bet.
Is
Yeah,
this an MCP card for this guy?
I'm sure it's like fan made because a different company and everything. But
for sure. Yeah.
It would be pretty fun to do Assault on Galactus mode where one player gets like 20 heroes and the other player is just playing Super Galactus and Silver Surfer.
That'd be kind of a fun thing to do on stream. Do like a Galactus MCP thing.
Chat plays Galactus.
Man, I wonder if like this guy would like there'd be a reason to like really use masking in a huge way on this model, so you could continue to use the airbrush across the whole thing.
Yeah, I imagine that you could employ all the same sorts of things that you see in guides for like Warlord Titans and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
Where you could get a lot of use out of airbrushes and
I would hope so. Yeah.
Stuff. It still is a monumental hobby task.
Okay.
Yeah, Lummox Beast, I believe there is a WizKids one as well.
Is he as big as this?
I think he's actually bigger.
Oh my god.
I like this one's pose more, I think, though. I think the WizKids one, he's just like standing.
Life-sized.
Yeah, the WizKids is also pre-painted and like $900.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the HasLab one. I don't know. There's every few years someone comes along and makes a ridiculous Galactus miniature that I can't believe exists, and they're awesome, and I love that they do exist, even though I would personally never buy one. WizKids is only 100? What? Okay, so that's the smaller one. I must be thinking of the HasLab one, which is the giant one. They have one of those at the source. The box is on top. You know, like the rows where they have like comics and then on top they have stuff.
Yeah.
One of the things there's a ridiculous like 3-foot tall box that has Galactus on it.
Okay. Wow, you're literally painting a Warhammer. You got it. It's always hard to tell if the eyes on gaming miniatures are they're supposed to be like lower eyelids or the actual eyeball. I kind of always just assume they're the actual eyeball. Just to make my life easier. Some color on this lower lip. What color is Eric Ironmaker's hair? I'm assuming he's gray and balding. Do we know?
I think it might be black. Hang on.
Oh, it might be black. Okay.
Let me just look. Eric Ironmaker.
Is he in the show?
Probably, but who cares? The game's based on the books. No, you're right. It is gray, or at least on his card art, it's gray.
Okay. There's a Game of Thrones cartoon?
That would be sick.
I don't know. What are you saying, Jason?
Probably just like the cartoons before they moved in the newspaper. I want a tape measure. You got a tape measure handy somewhere?
In that red bag on the couch, in the Velcro pocket, there is a yellow and blue tape measure in there. Part of me wants to do Kingsguard book accurate with white armor, but the antique gold from the show is so nice.
So HasLab 1 is almost a foot tall.
Oh my god. And that's the pre-painted one?
Yeah, so the HasLab one is roughly it's like 10. It's either 9 inches or 11 inches bigger, depending on where they measure this from, because it has the base included. And the base is about 2 inches and change tall. And yeah, the HasLab one is officially 32 inches tall, which is, fucking enormous.
See you, Jason. Thanks for the subs again, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And yeah, that HasLab one is pre-painted and illuminated.
Oh wow. Okay.
And also, cheap is $700.
Okay. kind of covered up too much of the underlying red color for the eyeball. So I'll just quickly repaint the eye and start over. Oh god, that was so terrible. This fucking hammer, dude. It's like super in the way. Okay, that kind of works. Kind of works. I can't tell if it's hot or if it's cold in here. I'm like sweating, but I hear the AC and I'm like kind of...
It's cold in here. You have a cold.
Okay.
You're also wearing a beanie, which doesn't help.
I don't think beanies really change what my body temp feels like. Maybe it does.
At least for me, the first thing I do when I'm warm is take off my hat.
I don't think anyone wants to see that.
Yeah, the difference is you can have a bad hair day.
I
take off my hat and all that happens is steam erupts.
See, look at this. Who wants to look like this?
Feeling free and fresh. Hang on, let me. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Now we're cooking.
Yeah. The head is one of the big heat emission zones outside of the pits and the inner thigh.
I mean, it's true, but it's also like, yeah, your head's just a sphere and you have blood going through it. So, yeah.
Hair controls my entire body temperature.
Hats control my entire body temperature.
I don't know about that. I have a question about flying with Citadel paints or paints in general. How do you go about that? I have done it one time. I put it in a bag, a Ziploc bag. I put that bag in my carry-on. They opened that bag and they were like, seems good. And then it was fine. So that was my experience. How can Scott drive his Lamborghini without his teeny weeny beanie while playing my tamborini? What was the other one? I forgot the other one. All right, let's get some dark blue pupils in here. And then we'll fix up the lower cheek. Oh man, this white, eye white is definitely not big enough. Let's make it a bit bigger.
While eating a linguine.
Oh, linguine. Bikini. There it is. Okay, there are some more options.
Scott does like short shorts, so I could see him wearing a bikini.
I do like short shorts.
What is the difference between a Speedo and a bikini?
One eye. Done. Chatting up Mr. Feeney.
Old Eric One Eye.
Yeah. Do I have to do the other one? I'm gonna try. All right, let's see where we're at with that first eye, kind of staring to the left a little bit. And so with this eye, we'll try to favor the left side of the eye. I don't know if that's gonna work out very well.
Just make them pointing wildly different directions on purpose, and that's okay, because there's artistic intent behind it.
And then I will put him on a toilet.
Yeah.
And then
Maybe that's the joke of your army, is that they're all perfectly painted except their eyes are like really egregiously bad.
they're all chameleons.
Exactly.
I'm touching the eyeball. Why is the paint not coming off? Please. I can only hold my breath for so long. All right, try again.
I mean, they are like the Berserker faction. You could just give them all googly eyes.
Wait, they're the Berserker faction?
Sure.
I thought that the House Umber Berserkers were berserkery.
Once they're a real faction, they will be the Berserker faction.
Okay. I actually don't know anything about Greyjoy. Really. I know they're like pirates and they have like sea wives and like they're generally distasteful people, but I don't really know much. And like there's something with like
Song of Ice and Fire, they're all generally distasteful people.
Yeah, see that I hear that too. They have like something about. I mean, I know all the quotes, right? We do not sow, and what is dead may never die. But I don't really know like what Greyjoy are, you know? They're punishment heads.
Island pirate people.
Is that? Aren't? Wait, do we need to say island
I don't know.
when we're saying pirate people?
I mean, kind of. They could be coastal pirate people, but they have the Iron Isles. We're speaking specifically in reference to the book series because of the fact that the game is based off of the books, and so I know that there are a bunch of characters that exist in the books that don't exist in the show, or like were merged in the show.
Well, hold on here. I would assume the show Greyjoy are very similar to the book Greyjoy.
I don't know that that's really true.
No one.
I don't know. It's not true. I just don't know.
Oh, according to 2cry_some_more, no one cares about GOT.
Yeah, no one cares about that show. It ended after like 3 or 4 seasons, right? So
Yeah,
what a shame.
that sounds about.
Would have been great if they had been able to adapt more stuff, but then there wasn't any more books, so they just stopped making it.
They can't grow things, so they take things. Very piratical, okay. Character to character, they're very different. Okay. I got a little bit of exposure to Greyjoy.
Gross.
When I watched season 1 and I think most of season 2. And I kind of met. Obviously, I met Theon a lot.
But he's also not really a Greyjoy because he was raised by House Stark.
Exactly. And then the other one, the sister, Asha. I met Asha and Balon, I believe. And Balon is a miserable son of a bitch. And I think Asha just like fucked with Theon in the beginning a little bit. And that was kind of what she did.
Yeah.
I guess fucking with him is putting it lightly. It's very incestuous. The white ink is still getting lifted a little bit.
Uh-oh.
With the wash, which is whatever. I'll just apply highlights.
Delicate.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a little more delicate. I am applying Griff Charger Gray. Just to get like a little baseline blue, and then we'll use that same pastel blue color, but then we'll work all the way up to white. So we'll go through pastel blue into white. So it's kind of like we're staying in the same family, but getting a little bit different of a color. I'm not sure if I'm totally happy with this face, but it seems good enough. It's not as, I don't think it's as good as the first time I did it.
What do you mean the first time you did it?
Yeah. Will never be mentioned again.
You know, Rufus makes a good point, and it's something that's always, it's the same sort of conversation as, you know, people won't accept coincidence in fiction.
Right, yeah.
There's another one, which is characters never have the same name. unless it's like specifically a joke about it and is going to be lampshaded.
I don't know what you mean. What about? Give me an example.
I mean, like, an example being like there are never you have a in real life, Scott. How many Ambers do you know?
Many.
Right. So if you were to write a play based off of the daily life of a miniature painting YouTuber and the sister-in-law is in town or whatever, right? Oh, but there are 2 Ambers. That's annoying. We have to change one of their names because otherwise people might get confused.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's one of those things that it's perceived and maybe true that audiences won't accept it.
Yeah.
So you just change the name.
I think you're right. I think that it has to just do with, like, I always feel like I just forget terms randomly in my head. It's your ability to be absorbed into the story.
Suspension of disbelief.
Right. The moment.
Verisimilitude. The 2 things are related.
I thought verisimilitude was just something's variety.
No. Verisimilitude is like selling the setting. Immersion.
Okay.
Suspension of disbelief is like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to question this. I buy it.
All right. Starting to do some highlighting on these boots. Mix some blue in, mix some skin tone tan in, and got a very purple color. So not super into that color, but maybe we can change a lot of this with just some tints and some stuff. So I'm not super concerned about it. But yeah, let's get some lights on that shawl and these gloves, and then we'll see what more work needs to be done to the leather parts. Evan's gone, chat. Chat, it's just you and me. It's like good old times. Why everything you paint is so desaturated? It's not. You're wrong. Just go look at my Instagram. Are you asking why is this model so desaturated? I think the skeletons I just painted for my Age of Sigmar army, my most recent video, have a very saturated red color. Let me know what you mean by desaturated. But this is the beginning of a paint job of a model that, I'm not trying super hard on, and often that starts more desaturated, and as I build up highlights, it gets brighter and brighter and more saturated. Why are you so saturated? That's because I spend all my time in a basement, Rufus Kid. That's why. Evan's doing insurance stuff right now. Very polite, thank you. They freaking call her Yara in the show because it's another character with a similar name. They absolutely ruined Euron in the show, did they? That's sad. Man, I kind of do like the maroon and desaturated blue look. I think it looks really nice, actually. I just don't think it's going to mesh very well with my existing Greyjoy paint jobs. I mean, it's not going to be that big of a deal because it's like a character, and so it can look different, and that's fine. But I'd rather my character kind of like just mesh a little bit better. Asha and Osha. That's funny. The yellow in this cream color that I have here is going to saturate the purple and kind of turn it a little bit muddier. So maybe that will do something. Okay. Okay, let me just finish applying the highlight to his shawl that we're currently on, and then we're gonna head out. Who should we raid today, Chad?
We haven't raided Mohawk in a long time. That's a suggestion.
Oh.
Marco is live. I think Monument's probably live now, too.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea to do Mohawk.
This is Eric Ironmaker, Mag Yarkin.
Mag Yurkum.
Hixie666, raid the little guy. That is always potentially a nice thing. Australia.
All right, cool.
Paint.
Just got some clothing done. Got that skirt thing to go. His throne and his warhammer and his hair. Also, I don't know about the maroon desaturated cloth. I'm gonna think on it and see if there's a better way to incorporate that color into the scheme or fix the problems that currently exist. We'll see. But
Let's raid the 60666 guy.
Hixie666, what's he doing? Cities of Sigmar?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, that sounds good. All right, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the fun mail time with Galactus and talking about movies, talking about games, talking about New York, talking about U.S. Nationals, talking about Nova Open.
Talked about everything.
Talking about everything. Looking forward to seeing you guys this Thursday for a gaming stream. Haven't picked the game yet. Don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be a song. Maybe something else. We'll see. So that'll be this Thursday at 7 p.m. CST. Goes until about 10 or 11. And then we'll be back next Tuesday for another painting stream. Likely painting some Greyjoys. I want to make a comment. I said I was going to paint an army in a month. That's because there was a video that was scheduled and paid for in October. That video got moved to December. So I still need to paint an army, but it doesn't need to be as quickly.
The time pressure is off a little bit.
Yes.
Not a lot, but a little bit.
Not a lot, yeah, a little bit. So hopefully I'll have a fully painted army of Greyjoy by then. But otherwise, y'all, I'm going to head out for today. Thank you again for the support. Thank you for being involved in chat. I always love that. We're going to raid Hixie 6. And until then, y'all, I'll catch you later. See ya.